You can offer this episode $40 early on our Patreon, patreon.com/indieheadspodcast. By joining us for as low as $1 a month, you'll receive episodes early and gain access to our Discord server. All of our upcoming mainline episodes we up on our Patreon $40 for it hits our public podcast feeds. But if you're hearing this via our Patreon feed, we thank you so much for your support. We especially want to thank our Real Ones patrons, including Becca Etienne, Jordan Bukowski, James Boss, Holiday Kirk, Tyler, Marcy Anime, Chance Holdup, Delaney Miller, Reanna Cruz, Josiah Duncan, General LaFleur, Matt Cameron, Grant in the Back of My Dragula, Pablo Escobar's Hippos, Jackson Christ, Alec Felder, Matthew Taylor, Breen Hare, Drew Wharton, I Like Books, Jonathan David, Matt Kapazinski, Mark Barry, Darian Fisher, Cal 50, No One's Refused Pimped Out Dave Matthews Event, Chris Wade, Jacqueline Kadiga, Midwest Maxwell, Kevin John, Jake Wald, Eraser Eye Baby, Rob Marino, Max, Dylan, Sandy Nemo, Waffle113, Gavin 490 Freak, and Maze Farms. To become a real one, consider supporting us for $5 a month on Patreon, or receive a bonus episode every month and get a shout out at the top of the pod. Anyways, though, enjoy the episode.
Okay, so hold on. No, I want to explore this for a second further. So I saw that because I follow Grimes on Instagram still for some reason. She cosplayed as Melania, goddess of rot from Elden Ring for Halloween. So if Donald Trump Googled Elon Musk's girlfriend after the Met Gala and learned about Grimes, and then
all right, we haven't started this episode,
and followed Grimes on Instagram, does Donald Trump know who Melania, goddess of rot from Elden Ring is? Is he aware of the bleed build?
No, AJ. Matty, start the podcast.
Were we recording this?
Yes. We've been recording for like 3 minutes now.
Welcome to the Mind Palace.
Oh my god. we should let's start there. Like that last part of
Grimes has a song called Shinigami Eyes. Is Donald Trump aware of Death Note as a concept?
Yeah, just
hello everybody. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome to the Heads Podcast. It's me, your favorite 25-year-old heartthrob, Maddie Monroe, and I'm here here on the Indie Heads Podcast today as
I'm in a Glass Animals beanie.
In a Glass Animals beanie, which I did not pay for. I was given to it by the Universal Music Group due to doing a Glass Animals AMA on Indie Heads in 2020.
Just one of many payola deals Maddie has done in his time as an Indie Heads moderator.
Maddie is an unethical journalist.
Sells out for stupid beanies. It looks good though.
Thank you. This $5 rent isn't going to pay itself, okay? So I mean, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. But here we are. We are joined this episode by Max, Jackie, Britt, AJ, special guest Reanna Cruz.
What up?
And Jackie, why are we here today?
We're here to continue what was one of my best ideas I've probably ever had for the podcast. Middle school dance episode, part 2.
We're back.
I was making the first playlist, and immediately it was clear to me, like, this is not a one song playlist sort of deal. Like, trying to encompass the entire scope was impossible. And so I tried to fixate on some certain guys, some certain songs, but that first playlist, immediately after, I already put together the second playlist, as well as 2 sort of related follow-up episodes that we'll do after this one, one of which we've teased already, which is the middle school slow dance episode, which very excited for that one. Will be even more awkward than this one. And also, I'm not sure if I actually Matty, have I told you this one? I think I've talked to Max about this.
The dance craze one?
There were certain songs that I thought about including on this episode as part of middle school, because I was like, it was a real oversight in episode. Matty, it was a real oversight in episode 1 for us to do an entire episode about middle school dances and not once discuss Crank That Soulja Boy. But then I realized that, like, if we talk about Crank That Soulja Boy, we're then overlooking Cupid Shuffle, etc. So
when we were talking about that,
which this is not the dance craze episode.
This is not the dance craze episode, but just
and we already did the white people.
Just so you know,
just like, and we haven't brought.
Just so you know, of course, we will be talking about Chevy Checkers, the Twist, on the dance craze episode. We're going to be doing dance crazes all the way from the Twist.
I don't even want to be
all the way from the Twist to Silento is going to be basically the episode. But that's not what we're here to do today. Today we're here to talk about. I mean, this topic was so stacked that there are several songs in this episode that's like, how did I not put this in the first episode? Including some I was like saving for a second episode, because I couldn't just release all the Flo Rida and Pitbull magic all on one episode. Like, we gotta save some of that for part 2. But this is a heater.
Did AJ just change his name to Dale J. Moser?
Dale J.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
God damn.
I should have worn my Pitbull shirt.
I've
As somebody that's seen Pitbull twice in concert, I'm very happy to see him on the playlist. That's my Cuban icon right there.
Yeah, Max and I screwed up. Pitbull was playing in North Carolina, like I think the week we recorded the first middle school.
Yes,
episode.
exactly.
We were so.
Well,
close.
you had COVID,
The conversation was
Max,
broached.
didn't you?
My plan was to immerse myself in the culture with Middle School Dance episode 1, and then go to Pitbull as like a celebration of life. And then I got COVID, and I was out of commission for most of that episode. I was there, but like the lights weren't on. No one was home on that episode. I'm feeling great for this one. I'm incredibly excited to talk about this incredible playlist that Jackie's curated, potentially better than the
I was
first.
gonna say,
I would say
Max,
so.
you said, I believe, in the Discord, you said especially the first half of this playlist is the best music we've ever talked about on this podcast, I believe was your assertion.
I'm
I think
inclined
the
to
last
agree.
year has kind of like assembled an oeuvre for me, where it's like, this guy is very easy to please on a dance floor. You can just play anything with a beat. My dumbass just sticks 2 thumbs up, and this playlist is no exception.
But I was listening to this playlist as like a late addition, and just a quick scroll, I was like, I know every song. All of these songs are incredible. And honestly, before we even get into it, like, I don't think there's a bad song on this playlist, full send. Like,
I disagree.
Those are my feelings.
I would agree.
I disagree.
I would agree.
This has
Some songs are. I don't think there's any bad songs necessarily.
There are some songs that have
infinitely better
weaker
than others.
elements than others. There are a couple songs on here that are uneven, but are not bad per se, where some parts shine more than others, let's just say. And then there are a lot of songs on this playlist that are just like timeless, put them in the Hall of Fame classics.
The first 5 songs on this playlist are probably better than any Song of the Year list we've published since this podcast has been around.
I mean,
yeah.
Hey, don't say that right now. We're gonna ready to start inner year coverage in like 2 weeks, brother. Come on.
No, that's what they call a tease.
Like,
oh boy.
Yeah, like DJ Got Us Fallen in Love, like, probably does make me feel more things than Simulation Swarm right now. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay, we need to get into it. We need to get into it. I will just say, here's the thing: are all these songs good?
Yeah.
Honestly, there's not real. I can't say any of these songs are bad per se, but is this playlist insanely accurate to what is played at a middle school dance in 2011, 2010? Absolutely, yes, 100%. And we're starting off with a fucking banger, maybe the best song on the playlist.
I would say
potentially
potentially the best song on the playlist is absolutely correct. We're talking about Smack That, Akon and Eminem, right off the bat. Akon's biggest song.
It is shocking how good this song is. This song is so good.
I am not shocked by that, but that's because this is a song that, like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to say about it, because like even before I went to revisit today to refresh myself for the episode, it's like just looking at the word "Smack That," Akon and Eminem. I don't even need to hit play. I can picture the entire song in my mind. Like, it is just there. Like, it is so burned into my brain that just like it starts coming on, and I'm just like, oh yes, of course.
This is a song I haven't thought about or like listened to it. Like, you know, if you tell me like, oh, Smack That Akon, I'm like, I could sing you the hook right now.
Right.
But the structure, the bones of this song, I haven't really reckoned with in a while. And so the Eminem verse specifically is something that I hadn't like considered in probably years.
Same.
So
I don't think I've never listened to this song in
verse
full.
is so good.
Like,
I did not remember that Eminem was involved in this at all, and frankly, the Eminem verse, like when he did it, the rhyme scheme of it just made me like sit there and wait for him to say something about Timothy Chalamet, because it works with that rhyme scheme, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's before Timothy Chalamet's time. Never mind.
What year is this song?
This is 2006. It's an era, like, and you can hear it in the production. It's like distinctly different from most of the other songs on this playlist.
Yeah.
But like, this is.
Do you guys know who produced this? Eminem himself.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
This is an Eminem production, which is like fucking wild listening to it.
Which makes the "this is another club banger" line even better because like he produced it.
Yeah.
He also mentions like Tybo in this, and that really dates the song. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
this is an older song than
she
any
checks
of
out
the
Mozart
songs
while she does Tybo.
we talked about last week or last episode, but I included it because it was still hanging on, and also is very influential on like a lot of the hits that kind of come after it. And we talked in the last episode about how the music at middle school dances was often like inappropriately horny, just like very aggressively horny. And
yeah, it was something that a whole bunch of 13-year-olds had
no
business
Smack That
dancing to.
is this song that is so filthy, but somehow he does't say anything that's that like incriminating. Like you don't have to do a lot of bleeps to get this past.
It's just vaguely horny. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just non-specific enough and just specific enough that you can't disguise it, but you also don't have to like hide very much to get it past the censorship board, which makes it perfect for this situation.
Akon also like had his hands all over late 2000s music, where like Akon kickstarted Lady Gaga's career and like has songwriting and producing credits everywhere. So having him be an ubiquitous part of this sort of culture is incredible. Like it's natural, you know?
Yeah,
I feel like this just has very horny production. Does that make sense?
Yes, no, 100%. You don't need Akon singing about Smack That for this instrumental to make you horny. Absolutely.
Yeah, not even like making me horny, just like it feels like the intention of it is to like, just like this vague feeling of horniness.
No, totally. Yeah. It.
And I want to do a little dumb white girl dance. You know, it's fun.
All right, back from a technical difficulty. We are still talking about Smack That by Akon featuring Eminem, produced by Eminem, which I hear it. It definitely sounds like the Eminem beats of that time.
Well, because I was
I definitely hear it.
I was peeping it, right? And I was like, again, like I said, I hadn't listened to this song in full maybe ever, because the last time I heard it, I was like 8 years old. So I was peeping it, and I was like, oh, this kind of sounds like shit off of like Encore, you know? Like it's giving like Ass Like That type vibes in terms of the sonics of it all, right? And I don't know who produced those Eminem tracks, but I know
my nephew.
It sounds like a
Matty has already uncovered something crazy.
They fucked up the spelling of Eminem so bad. Eminem.
My cars.
My car.
Fucking Mater! Why is it my car's Mater?
The YouTube search bar is such a dangerous thing.
We need to explain for our listeners what's going on right now.
Okay, sorry. I looked up Smack That by Akon on YouTube because I was just going to pull up the music video and see if there's anything funny, and then I just scrolled down and I saw a video from 15 years ago with the description, "My nephew made this."
Nephew spelled wrong.
N-E-F-E-W.
Eminem spelled wrong in the title.
Much like what made the Maroon 5 YouTube compilation so beautiful is that all of these songs peaked at the same time, like sincere YouTube posting was at its peak, and it'll never be the same again because people, even like kids, are just generally like more aware unless you're like watching Roblox
they're too
videos.
tapped in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like culture writing has sort of focused on the idea of like the death of monoculture, and a lot of these think pieces have focused on like, oh, you know, we all used to watch Game of Thrones together and now everyone's watching all their different shows. I would reject that hypothesis entirely and say that like YouTube, Windows Movie Maker music videos were the monoculture, and we need to go back. We need to go back to that, where you could set like promo images from Pixar's Cars to Akon Smack That. Yeah, and everyone would know what you were talking about.
So to answer the question about Eminem's production, he did produce Shake That and When I'm Gone from Curtain Call.
Shake That is one of the greatest songs I have ever heard, and it is the spiritual, like, it's the cousin, or maybe even the sibling, considering the similarity, with Smack That. Smack That, Shake That in the handshake meme of being fucking dirty ass bangers.
But it is surprising, like, I didn't realize how many of the biggest Eminem songs are Eminem self-production. So Lose Yourself is, Stan is, Guilty Conscience, Superman is,
wow.
My Band, D12 is an Eminem beat.
Yo, D12, My Band, that's another classic.
Yeah, D12, I mean, like
a lot of the best early 2000s Eminem stuff is him producing it himself.
When you
grow up, we have to do an Eminem episode.
Yeah, when you grow up as a white boy outside of Detroit, you learn so many things about Eminem's career, and like he's done embarrassing stuff and has really become washed and fallen off. But he was, you know, he was the GOAT white boy for a reason. The early 2000s called and Eminem answered.
I feel like this is very much like, it just feels like RuneScape video core. It's like 2006
really
is the perfect area for it. I just feel like I'm watching like some level, you know, like.
I mean, I think that's just our age. You know what I mean? There's a certain age of person older than us that actually thinks about the club when they hear this song, because this is a song that was playing in the clubs.
Oh
not
yeah,
just,
totally.
Like, with
my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
What does Cal 50 think about this song?
Well, like these are also like not like. This song is definitely one that I definitely like dance to at a middle school dance, and like I don't think any of us realize just how like horny or inappropriate this is. And it's not like there's a whole lot of options either on the table if you wanted to do that. Like all of the music was stupidly horny and inappropriate.
Yeah, this was getting nowhere near my Catholic school. This was one of the songs that was like, if you knew what this was, you were getting slut shamed on the playground in 6th grade. Put Catholic school as an institution bad, if you ask me.
I feel like I was just like solely exposed to this through being on fucking YouTube at a terribly young age. You know, like that's the only way that I would have come across this.
Definitely heard this somewhere. I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was actually like at a middle school dance, but I do feel like the clean edit of this can pass if you're not like an eagle-eyed listener, whereas there was a song I cut at the last minute, which was MGK Wild Boy, the breakout hit of Machine Gun Kelly.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that.
That is not a middle school song.
That thing is, I think I might have heard it once in that context, but the clean edit of that song just like butchers it entirely to the point even someone, if you had the clean version and they didn't know the original song, they'd be able to hear the clean version and be like, yeah, no, this is clearly inappropriate, even though we can't hear what he's actually saying. Like, it just completely, like, it's an unlistenable song as far as the clean edit goes, because of
have to do like
bitch is so crucial to the song.
We have to do a frat party banger episode where it's like MGK Wild
Christ,
Boy
no.
and the song where ASAP Rocky calls Skrillex the N-word. Those songs are all so cool.
Okay, let's move on to our next song. We're
evil. Don't bring that into the world.
This is supposed to be an episode about middle school dance songs, not a workshop episode where we come up with even more cursed ideas.
We're spinning the basketball on our finger right now.
I'm going to put the playlist together right now.
Let's move on to the next song.
Jesus Christ.
Good God, yeah.
Good God, another banger.
This is
a huge one.
This is maybe one of my favorite songs of all time.
Rihanna, I'm right there fucking with you.
It's a classic. Like, there's really, truly nothing like it. As soon as those first notes hit, it's like, you know you're in.
And
I love fucking middle school dance of your life.
You know I love Pitbull. He goes like top 3 Pitbull performances on this song. He goes so hard on this one.
Absolutely.
When Pitbull stamps with a big DMV stamp with the dolly at the end after he kills another fucking verse.
Sir.
Dolly. Yep.
That's
Dolly.
king shit.
He did it again.
This song is crazy because I think that Usher is an absolute generational talent. I think he is one of maybe the best R&B musicians on the planet right now. No gas. And then you put Pitbull on top of that, who is like the king of the fucking world, you know? He's like
Mr. Worldwide.
He's Mr. Worldwide.
This is exactly at the moment in time in which Pitbull is going from guy who has some kind of novelty, trashy, clubby hits to like international mega star. And I think this song is a huge part of that, I would say.
Absolutely. Well, there's like the sort of So in college, one of my projects was I did we had to do a blog for my writing class, and they were like personal essays you would write every week. And I chose Pitbull. So I wrote like 6 different personal essays on Pitbull every week my senior year of college. And this sort of point in 2010 is when he shifts from the sort of Pitbull Revolution type vibe, which has hotel room service, I Know You Want Me, that sort of vibe. Then this song, afterwards, he releases Planet Pit, which has Give Me Everything, Hey Baby, Reign Over Me. This is,
also
like
the
you
best
said,
album
Jackie,
cover of all time.
The inflection point, you know? This is when it switches from sort of club Pitbull to top of the charts, genre-dominating Pitbull.
Gotti.
I was trying to pull up the Pitbull timeline to figure out exactly what happened, and I just discovered a fascinating artifact, which is, I don't know who this guy is. This guy David Rush, who apparently was like trying to break out in 2009, and his debut single was a song called Shooting Stars featuring Kevin Rudolph, LMFAO, and Pitbull.
Good God.
What the hell?
Yes,
Wow.
sir.
What a meeting of the minds. Those 3 guys on one track. I mean, 4 guys if you count both members of LMFAO. Like, what a meeting of the minds. I can't believe that happened.
I think the man himself is about to enter.
It was used in the final dance battle in the 2010 film Step Up 3D.
That's
I feel like, yeah.
Yeah. There's
Well,
another
Can't
Step Up
Handle Me
3D
All-
song on here.
Yeah.
Okay,
There's
hold on.
several
Let's
Step Up
pause.
3D songs. My life is a movie and you're just TiVo.
That's also another dated reference.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
about
Oh
to
my
say
God.
all the best middle school bangers have incredibly dated references that pin you exactly.
Wide
to
when I
the
step
spot.
in the room.
There's only one other verse this episode with more like unintentional comedy factor than that Pitbull verse, and we'll get to it when we get to it. But yeah,
Jackie is like loading a gun and placing it on the table with that one.
Falling in love.
I feel like in the past I've just never like. I feel like I've always been like, yeah, Pitbull's like kind of like a funny guy, I guess, but I've never really given him the respect of an artist that he like actually deserves. And then really it's starting with middle school one in my COVID inebriated state. I kind of realized like, no wait, I really enjoy Pitbull, and like just going back and like kind of checking the books on all the Pitbull songs that are out there, I'm like, wait a second, I like all these songs. And really
Yep.
spending more time with Pitbull means I'm like, he's that guy, and I feel like I've fucked up for not recognizing that as such.
He has such like an unbridled optimism for life.
Yes.
And the thing that I connect with the most with Pitbull, aside from the both of us being Cuban, it's the fact that he is so positive. And in his shows, he sort of goes on this like motivational speaker type diatribe whenever he's on stage, like in between the songs. He's like, "We are one people. We are not black. We are not white. We are humans who like to party. Dale." And then he like goes
That's
into like,
so awesome.
you know, another
World
fucking song.
peace.
Like he literally, the first time I saw him, he went on maybe a 5-minute rant where he was talking about phones, and he was like, technology is killing our connections with others. And then he played like Don't Stop the Party. And it's like, yeah, like I kind of like this guy.
No,
you
yeah,
know?
you could
it's fun.
pin them up with like a very granola person from Oregon, and just they would connect on that bond. I feel like
Absolutely.
he's just so positive. He's just like he feels like a member of the Fast universe just in real life.
Totally.
I think that's just 'cause he kinda looks like Vin
I
Diesel,
was
I guess.
about to fucking bring that up because there was a song with Pharrell and Pitbull in 2009 on the soundtrack of the first Fast and Furious movie, and really, Pitbull is kind of like the Rosetta Stone for the sensibilities of the Fast movie. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's like about
Mhm.
like global multiculturalism.
Yep.
And also like big dumb populism and like positivity and
Yes.
Pitbull
if
has the
televangelists
sort
were
of
about like loving your family and partying.
Pitbull has the sort of ethos of the great unifier. Like there are very few people in culture that I think we can unify behind as a people and as a monolith. but I think his concerts and Pitbull as a person is so unique because I could go to his shows and it's kind of like a case study where it's like I could see people like myself, like I see the Latino community, I see, you know, frat dudes in like eagle, you know, like bald eagle American flag shirts, and it's like, oh shit, like it's something that like everybody can sort of get behind because he appeals to that nostalgia, and his songs fucking rock.
Yeah, there's something to be said about an artist who understands their utility, and that's exactly what the space that Pitbull occupies, where it's like, you know, you're listening to Pitbull songs, you know, they're auditory Red Bull. They're here to get you fucking pumped up, get you jacked, get you jazzed. And when you go to a Pitbull show, which I never have, but, you know, knocking on wood, before I die, I will make it to one. You feel the energy, you feel the communal spirit, you feel that vibe, and everyone is uplifted by Mr. Worldwide and his beautiful tunes. It's just like he must know. There are some artists where you're kind of like, do they know what's going on here? Do they understand Pitbull? I have no doubts. Yeah,
he definitely does. He has like sorority girls in like Tri Delta showing up to his shows in bald caps and sunglasses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the dude knows his audience, and it's the same shit where it's like I can hear it. You know, like when I was in college, like I would hear Pitbull at frat parties. And then like my mom listens to like Fireball comes on the radio, she turns it up. You know what I mean? It's like that sort of thing where it unifies sort of like soccer moms, frat guys, the general culture, like under this sort of Pitbull Mr. Worldwide umbrella.
And he just has an
my mom has
infinite
a
amount of
huge
charisma.
crush on Pitbull.
Hell yeah.
A huge crush.
Moms love
like
Pitbull.
people, like some very dumb people will like take shots, but like even at the peak of kind of like reactionary anti-Britney Spears kind of pop music sort of sentiments, even at the time when people would be snooty about this sort of thing, he doesn't really get as much hate as you feel like Pitbull would be, because it really feels like you have to go out of your way to be mad at Pitbull. You know what I mean?
Like, why would you ever be mad at Pitbull? He's all about good vibes, and he calls himself Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, if you're a Pitbull hater, you're telling on yourself.
Check yourself first.
It's like even the point where
I will hate on. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's like it's the point where he says certain things that from another person would make you sort of like cock your head and be like, okay, because he's like the type to be like, we are all one race, the human race, and it's like, okay, like, you know, like that's eye rolling, but it's Pitbull, and he's like so genuine and earnest that I hear that and I'm like, I kind of see where he's coming from.
No, 100. I mean, like Pitbull is the ultimate example in like that somewhere between 50 to 75% of being a successful pop artist is being able to sell the charisma and confidence. Like everything he says on here would sound absolutely fucking ridiculous if you tried to make it the lyrics of your song. And we all laugh at some of the like funniest, like picture me in Times Square with a Kodak type lines from Pitbull, but like he says them with the conviction of someone who means take a picture of him in Times Square with a Kodak. You know what I mean?
Like, so we're going with Pitbull 2024.
I mean, honestly, the Democratic
Wouldn't be the worst
Party
option in the world.
Could run Pitbull.
No,
I think it would do well.
Pitbull could win a Congress seat so easily.
He'd be the first person to be able to flip Miami blue.
You could run a party on vibes right now.
His aspirations are bigger though. He's not Mr. United States. He's Mr. Worldwide. He's like a sort of a government office in the United States of America is just too small for Pitbull.
Pitbull is facing off with a Modi for president of the universe.
Pitbull is also the type though where you don't really want to dive super into his politics because he's more like a face than like a person. Like he's like a character to me because he has he is like a Miami Cuban who's like communism is the worst thing ever because he's like an expat from Cuba. But so it's like, he's like a person, but more so as like a character and an aspiration and an ideal where it's like, I don't see him as like a human kind of. I see him as like the celebrity.
I just realized the platonic ideal of an entertainer.
I don't know his real name. I started typing it into Google and then I just erased it and stopped. I was like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know what it is. I don't want to conceive of Pitbull as a human being. He's like a spiritual energy that like he's one of the creatures from Spirited Away that crosses the little bridge after dark.
as far as we're doing a kind of like big picture Pitbull stuff, we have talked at past about the Pitbull album covers and the conventions of the Pitbull album titles, including the fact that his first two albums are called Money is a Major Issue and Money is Still a Major Issue.
My Stammy.
I feel like we haven't talked about enough the fact that his breakout album, the one that Hotel Room Service appears on, the one that comes right before the release of DJ Khaled's Fallen in Love, is not called Revolution. The album is called, the full album title, the Wikipedia page is called Pitbull Starring in Revolution. That is that is the full album.
Is that 2010?
That is the 2009 album, which has both "I Know You Want Me" and "Hotel Room Service" on.
"I Know You Want Me" is another bang.
Yeah,
which is where he goes supernova. Like that's the crossover moment. It happens.
I'm pretty sure "Root of Overcoming the Struggle" was 2010.
100%, right afterward. Yep.
Yeah, and obviously we'll get into Mr. Rida in a little bit, but I feel like he shouldn't be hanging over my head in the way he is, but he is. Let's move on to another man that has a high place on the throne of middle school dance.
With Pitbull, it's not goodbye; it's see you later. And that's,
exactly.
That's how we're feeling.
100%. There will be more ways for us to cover Pitbull in future episodes. I'm sure of it. All right, our next episode. This one's a fucking heater. Sean Kingston, Fire Burning.
This is a new entry, right? We didn't have any Sean Kingston on the last episode.
We did not, and I'm almost wondering if I should have split the two Sean Kingston songs because I couldn't leave.
These
one
are
of
both
the other
monoliths.
Yeah.
But this one more so than the other one. This is the one that I think to me.
I think they're equally.
But the production of this one is just essentially what I think of as far as this era of music.
This song's crazy. This song is wild.
Another
so
song
good.
I maybe hadn't listened to in full in a decade.
Definitely.
It's one of the,
If I'm Sean Kingston, though, here's the thing I wanted to talk about, especially when I was listening to this playlist. I was like, if I'm Sean Kingston, I'm pissed that I popped when I did and not maybe 3 years later. Because it's there was, Sean Kingston was kind of, this song was a novelty when it was coming out, where it was like, oh, it's the funny 911 shawty pouring on the dance floor.
This is crazy.
No, AJ, you're right though. No, you're exactly right that if he had popped later, once he was more of a novelty in 2009, where if he had come a little later, he could have been more of a global sensation.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the right ways to phrase it, but the sort of wider spread adoption of what NPR or the Grammys would call world music, and I'm doing giant air quotes, but that sort of thing, and the explosion in Afro beats and artists Bad Bunny and Rosalia
into Western pop sound.
And yes, exactly. Sean Kingston could have been getting the big features if he's coming a little bit later down the road. And now, I don't know what Sean Kingston's up to these days. I'm sure he's living a great life.
He's recovering from his jet ski accident.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Did you guys ever hear about that? That's the thing that I know about Sean. I know nothing about Sean Kingston's personal life, but I know he got into a really bad jet ski accident a bunch of years ago, and it sort of stopped his career.
That's very sad.
Wild. No shot.
I was just gonna. That's a real bummer. Prayers up for Sean Kingston. I just wanted to say.
I'm sure. Again, I'm sure he's fine. This was. I just looked it up in 2011.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, it was in
10 years
2011.
ago. But I think the thing that you're identifying there, AJ, is perfectly identified by the fact that this album has 2 features on it. The 2 features are Good Charlotte and Wyclef Jean.
Yeah, they did this man dirty. Imagine
being able to walk between those worlds. What a unique cultural figure.
It's also crazy that Fire Burning has 215 million listens, and Twist You Around is Over by Sean Kingston has 600,000 plays. It's a very he's kind of a 2-hit wonder, I guess, but
Eeny Meeny is also a
3-hit
hugely
wonder.
popular song.
Oh yeah.
My bad. I mean, Actually, right here, it's funny. There's two versions of a song that we're going to talk about later. But he's got a couple of other kind of minor hits. But you're right, like nothing nearly on the level of ubiquity of Fire Burning. Even though
I guess he did release an album this year. Like
Road
3 months ago.
Road to Deliverance.
I was looking up Sean Kingston, and into Google I accidentally typed Sean King's Tron, and I'm like, let's explore. Let's see where that would go.
There's a
This
song
album has less listens than the Chat Pile album, probably.
there's a song on this album that's called Rihanna Umbrella.
That's a good song.
That rocks.
But yeah, this song is great. Fire Burning is a fucking. I mean, got. Somebody called 911, Shoddy Fire Burn. I mean, this song feels very twinned to me with Tayo Cruz Dynamite. They feel
That's a good song too.
Oh yeah, we talked about that one last time.
If there's anything I hold against this song, it's all hook. You know,
it is all hook. I agree.
It's a great hook, but
it's a fantastic hook.
I just love the in addition to the Fire Burning, I love the like birthday cake, like all of the little like it's all hook because he's stacking multiple hooks on top of each other and just repeating them over and over.
This is a really great pick, Jackie, because if I, like out in a vacuum, you had asked me like, never seeing this playlist, never seeing the discourse, what are 3 songs that encapsulated your middle school experience? This would be number 1. Because it would be this, Dynamite, and then like Give Me Everything by Pitbull, or, like I Got a Feeling or some shit. And that's like the top 3, but Fire Burning is firmly in that pantheon.
There. Oh, yeah. It'd be that, like, for me, it would probably honestly end up being Kesha, which, frankly, Jackie, where is the Kesha?
There should be more. There was some on last episode, but you're right that, like, I don't know. I partly went under on the Kesha stuff because last episode I made the acknowledgement that, like, look, we could talk about every Fame Monster Lady Gaga song, but we've already talked about a lot of those on this podcast.
Poker Face and like the Poker Face and whatnot are
once you
middle
open
school
it up,
dance songs.
And once you open it up to like the big ticket pop stars of that era, then it's like, well, then we have to talk about like 4 different Rihanna songs, and we have to talk about 4 different Lady Gaga songs. But I do agree that like probably I should have put TikTok by Kesha on here. Or something like that.
She deserves a spot.
My entire friend group in middle school like bopped that fucking Kesha album, and
absolutely,
Alejandro's so good.
I'm pretty sure
that's Lady Gaga.
I'm pretty sure like all of them have turned out in some capacity to be gay or queer in some capacity. One of them I still talk to this day. That is a big shocker to me, but TikTok. I watched a bunch of embarrassing anime videos of Kesha songs like that. That was really the owner here.
Yeah,
I mean, we are who we are. Change.
All these songs have AMVs. Like
yes,
straight
up.
100%.
Like how many Heat Waves AMVs are out there? Probably not that many.
Mm-hmm. Well, because it's part of like this is the era of the
this
YouTube
is the era of the AMV.
We can talk about Kesha a little more when we get to a different artist on this playlist who's coming up soon.
I'm excited to talk about the next song. I really am.
I am so fucking excited.
This is a mystery man. Like this song. Who is this guy?
He is motherfucking Iyaz. We're here to talk about Replay, which is a song that for a long time. This song and the Jason Derulo song were like kind of merged, related, but this is the better song I think than What You Say. Even though the Imogen Heap sample is iconic, this song is Titanic. It's so good.
I disagree in the better than What You Say regard, but I will say that this track is amazing, and Iyaz is the only celebrity that I can recall off the top of my head being from the British Virgin Islands, which is a place. Yeah, like he kind of put the British Virgin Islands on the map, if you ask me.
Oh, I made a grave error. I included the original because that's what I'm used to. There's apparently a remix with Flo Rida on it. We should have listened to that. Like, what are we doing?
Eats on it.
Of course he wasn't doing it.
Jackie, I would love to hear you. I would love to hear you expound on the thing you sent in Discord. How Replay by Iyaz invented hyperpop.
That's a great point. I think that there are a lot of hits from this era that are like very heavy on the vocal processing. I think this is one of the ones that like not necessarily intentionally. There's something about the syntheticness of these vocals that like adds to the like weird melancholy of the song rather than subtracting from it. Like some of the songs in this era you listen to and it's like, oh god, this sounds so dated, and this one doesn't, because it feels like it's using like the way it uses both auto-tune effects and also some of the like, it is a very 2009 beat, but in a kind of like forward thinking. It sounds like, ironically, the song that it was at the top of the UK singles chart, but then it was overtaken by Fireflies by Owl City, and that's the song that kind of reminds me of.
The moment.
This song is like Fireflies for the club, you know what I mean? Like, it's got that very like twinkly sensibility to it that I feel is like, I don't know, very like Drain Gang? Am I crazy for saying that?
No, I mean, like, I see it. We didn't have it, kind of like what I was saying with the Sean Kingston song too, but it's like we didn't have the cultural vocabulary yet to be able to sort of suss out the differences and the artistic intention in some of these things. And so it's like, oh, this is just another fucking pop song that uses auto-tune. And if you're, you know, if you're a hater, if you're out on that already, you're like, all these songs, and this is me whenever this song came out, like 10 years ago, when I was a simplehead, when I was a buffoon and a fool. But I'm like, oh, these crappy pop songs with their auto-tune and all this nonsense.
I was wondering why I was thinking of Jason Derulo. Jason Derulo co-wrote this song. I didn't realize that.
Really?
That's why there's similarity, yes.
Yeah, Jason Derulo feels like a ghost
Sean
hanging
Kingston.
over this song.
So Sean Kingston co-wrote What You Say with Jason Derulo, and then Sean Kingston,
these guys are all sitting at a big table together.
Yeah, I'm imagining
so
like
Sean Kingston and Jason Derulo co-wrote What You Say together, and then the three of them, Sean Kingston, Jason Derulo, and Iyaz, all co-wrote Replay.
I'm imagining like a creative retreat where these guys all go into like some big cabin in the middle of the woods somewhere, you know, like three of the greatest minds of their time collaborate, convene in the woods. They isolate themselves for you know, months. They emerge with Replay, fire burning, What You Say.
And then also J.R. Rodham, who is the J.R. who you hear sampled in that song.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the man in question.
Did you know that he is a born in South Africa white man to Jewish Israeli immigrant parents? And he looks kind of like Chet Hanks a little bit.
And Iyaz's fun fact is he released an album only in Japan.
Wow.
Like I'm trying to find this. It's like on his Spotify, but all the tracks are grayed out. I'm sure I could pull it up on you. Oh man, Jay Sean is in his fans also. Like
Jay Sean was hanging in the rafters listening to that meeting.
This song and Down by Jay Sean are very much twinned in my head.
That was on the last one, right?
Yes. Exactly.
Both
goddamn.
being
These kind of like songs that there are a lot of like kind of R&B,
proto cloud rap.
But like also there are a lot of R&B sort of influenced pop hits from this era that are like trying to be sort of soulful and club anthems at the same time that like don't have any actual kind of pathos to them. Like I'm thinking of a song that we do later in this episode from A Child Star, for example, that's trying to be sultry and heartbroken, that doesn't really actually, but like this is a song that like, whether you are a 13-year-old in middle school thinking about the shoddy that's on like a melody in my head, or whether you are an adult person now who has a job, you can still get divorced. You can still get like emotionally caught up in this song in a surprising way.
And I cannot imagine a better transition. Jackie just fucking alley-ooped us into the next song, which is, you know, the stunner, the standout of this week for me.
Classic.
Where this song shook me to my core.
AJ and I are on incredibly similar wavelengths right now.
AJ, hang on. We have Gavin on call. Hang on. We got Gavin on call. Gavin, what you got to say?
Yeah, here's a little off-pod magic for everyone. I called Matty a while ago, and Matty told me to fuck off, and I was lovey, and I was looking at all the Christmas stuff, and I was just going to tell my friend, hey, you know, it's the holidays and I love you, but I was rudely shut down. So, you know, just whatever, just one of those moments, you know. The magic of Christmas is gone. Whatever. Just shouts out to Max, and shouts out to AJ, and shouts out to everyone else. But you know, whatever. You don't You know what? Whatever. Bye.
We already did our stealth Christmas episode.
Okay.
What?
All right.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get it.
That was very strange.
Let's open this box.
You know I know
I'm ready
how.
to talk about this man.
Once in a generation, there's a piece of art that can change the world. I believe that music can heal all divides.
This was
And-
my
and-
first pick in our
That's
music
Pitbull.
league.
That's
this
Pitbull's
This
job.
is my water park pick.
Yeah.
And
This
this song is beautiful. I latched onto this for some reason this summer, and I have not let go. This song is fucking awesome.
Is my choice to hold this back until we did like 3 Flo Rida songs in the last episode. They're all Titanic, but this song really we identified kind of the different categories of middle school dance songs, and there's one category of song.
The middle school.
Yeah.
There's one category of song that is like, this is the best night of our fucking lives.
Yes. Yeah,
Energy.
this song is intensely emotional, and Flo Rida, he intentionally uses I don't know if it's intentional, but he just using the vocabulary of a 5th grader. Just you're nailing the hammer with at a carnival.
The world's biggest,
and the big weight is going up, and you get a high score.
Yeah. Listening to this song makes me feel like the jock at the end of The Fabelmans, where I've had a rapturous experience with art that I could not comprehend before, and I'm sort of just taken aback and shaken, and I'm like, I did not know a piece of media could make me feel these things, and I resent it for that, but also it's beautiful, and I'm crying.
What is it about this song? Because I feel it the same. It's
he just lays
so
it out
deeply.
so bare for you.
You what I think it is?
He knows how you know how.
It's the combination of you've got Matty. You can start playing the song.
I think it's
just
definitely the instrumental. The instrumental is
that's a lot of it. I was doing the research for this, and I was shocked. I did not know this for some reason. David Guetta.
Maddie, can you pause the song? I'm not ready to talk. I'm not ready yet.
Sorry,
You gotta pause the song. Yeah, we gotta. Can you run that? Can you run that back? Can you run that back?
Yeah, do the funk flex bombs. We got to rewind it. David Guetta's, and this is insane. David Guetta's first ever pop producing credit that landed him a hit was "I Got a Feeling." I did not know David Guetta had a hand on that song, and learning that made this song make so much more sense to me because it immediately clarifies that's how he was able to capture the I Got a Feeling energy again.
These songs feel so similar now that you
100%.
I'm guilty of mixing up Calvin Harris with David Guetta, and I sat here for a minute David Guetta, I wonder if there's any overlap when he dated Taylor Swift, and then I was like,
all you need to remember is that Calvin Harris is Taylor Swift guy, and David Guetta is shout out to his family guy.
Here's how I feel about this song, right?
I'm just hitting play on it again.
Okay, that's fine. I can get through this quick. I close my eyes and I imagine that Flo Rida is in the booth. Someone is holding a gun to his head, and it's if you don't go astronomically fucking hard, not only will I kill you, I will kill your entire family. I will kill the idea that you could ever have children or leave a lasting impact. You have to give everything you have to this song, and he bursts out the fucking gates with
it's
just
something so connected to specifically the nostalgia of childhood, where I listen to this and I'm immediately transported back to that time period. It's so much that it's visceral.
It is, and just hearing it, every time I hear it, it's just this feeling. I see you together.
It's those vocals, those kind of almost chorusy vocals that do actually. It has a feeling of emotional grandiosity that you think something like this shouldn't be able to reach, but it does.
It feels like it should be artificial, but Flo Rida also has the same kind of charisma that Pitbull does, where it's
100%.
this guy is probably a himbo, and he is really feeling these things, and it's not like an Adam Levine way where you feel he's feeling these things, but also you're kind of just this skeevy guy and I don't really buy into it. It's you feel like Flo Rida is
it's the difference between Adam Levine, who is relatable because he just doesn't have a personality, versus Anthony Kiedis style relatability, where because he is dumb, he is able to tap into just like a level of sincerity that like more self-aware people are just not capable of.
I mean, also like just going back to the instrumental, it's like perfect pop song structure, the way the instrumental like, you know, rises,
100%.
falls on these verses. It's like racing, truly cannot be caught, and then, you know, slowing down, like literally taking a breather in those choruses. It's a masterclass in just like, you know, that simple radio production. But sometimes, you know, it's classic for a reason, you know?
Totally.
And what you're saying to that, I was kind of like thinking like what I wanted to say about this song. And Flo Rida's verses on this song are like a warm goo that washed over my brain. But that's all they need to be. They just need to be like something to calm me over until the hook comes back. Because the hook is so fucking good. Because you know he's belting his heart out every time.
He is so in love that an entire, you know, building cannot contain him. He's too large. There's too much of him. He's feeling it all at once.
And like I you know, like shout out to his family, like Jackie was saying. Like I like to clown on David Guetta, but I Got a Feeling is a song that I don't love, but I like a lot. And this song also is like a song where I'm like, yeah.
This does feel like the like evolutionary form of I Got a Feeling works off of its simplicity, both lyrically and it's literally just like doot 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 doot. Like it is so bare bones. Whereas this is like taking the kind of core bones of that song and building it into like a song. Like
this is like the maximalist version of
100%.
I Got a Feeling.
Because
I Got a Feeling
feel like the realized version of it, sorry.
Yeah, no, because it's true, because I Got a Feeling propels on this beat, this simple beat. And there's so much going on in this song. It's kind of like a gumbo sort of sitch where like you can't pick out a specific ingredient in it because it all just works so well together.
There is a reason David Guetta stood his ass up on that roof and thought that he could drop like a trap remix of a Martin Luther King speech to end racism. And it's because like when you make I Got a Feeling and the club can't handle me, you believe that you have this inherent power that we were talking about with Pitbull, where it's like music can change the world.
You're right, but also it's just he's European. Like that, there doesn't need to be a reason for him to think he can do that. Like
honestly, this is giving me flashbacks to the last time that I put any thought of my brain into Flo Rida, which is during the Eurovision episode, actually. The Eurovision episode, we were talking about like previous things or previous submissions, and one of them from San Marino, of all places, San Marino decided to go get a Flo Rida feature for their song, and he popped out at the international competition and was like, "Hi, I'm Flo Rida."
What
you're like, okay,
yeah, that rocks.
That's a lot of money. So Flo Rida and Europeans go hand in hand.
That makes sense though, because like I see all of these like I mean it's the stereotype with European DJ that's like, come on everybody, we are together under
Clap
music.
your hands and ended the racism.
Yeah. Right, like we are all one people
this
under
beat
music.
Will kill racism.
And it's like Flo Rida has that similar like he's the same type of guy.
Exactly, but Flo Rida and Pitbull have a lot more charisma than David Guetta does, and that's what allows them to avoid a shout out to his family style embarrassment.
Well, because at the end of the day, David Guetta is a European man.
No, 100%, and we can get more into him. He shall return. But do we have any more important?
I would like to pose a question.
Club Can't Handle Me.
Like Jackie was just saying there, like what kind of pop stars these days are kind of riding off charisma mostly? Because I'm not
Jack Harlow.
I was gonna say Jack Harlow, but
answer.
I'm not like I'm not.
I mean,
enough
I am very well versed in the world of Jack Harlow.
Were, and I was thinking you might say that.
Jack Harlow, because
I've
been airing it on my social media because it's incredibly embarrassing. Jack Harlow has 3 of my 5 top spots in my Spotify rap this year. So I think I'm a little bit of a Jack Harlow historian.
Oh no,
100%.
The Harlow historian has
you
logged
were there
on.
on the ground floor.
I was leading the grassroots first class to number 1 conversation.
I feel like, and
I was
you
knocking on doors asking people to listen to Yeet.
Tell me if I'm out of pocket here, but I feel like Post Malone kind of fits that vibe. Like
Definitely.
For all intents and purposes, he's like not, his voice is not what would be traditionally called good, let's say. And he kind of like, I appreciate that I once was a Post Malone hater. I like the guy now, but it's like he kind of has found his own lane and does whatever he wants to. But I think he sort of forced himself into the career that he has by being the like, I drink Bud Light and I just like to party kind of guy.
Yeah. I agree.
Honestly, if I see one more one more thing of Post Malone saying that he's doing a collaboration with Magic the fucking Gathering, I will absolutely lose my shit. I'm so tired of the promos on Magic Arena. Just stop sending me the notification.
They should make him a card.
Is there anybody that fills that sort of charisma-based pop star perspective, though, that is not a white rapper?
I was about to say we named like the two people that are like white in rap right now.
Pitbull's unification is very different than Post Malone, which is Post Malone is making music for the Confederate flag trucker guys that also has appeal to other audiences.
It is music for the sorority summit.
Versus Pitbull, who is making music for
people,
clubs,
culture,
and exactly. But and everyone's coming.
Pitbull is making like intergenerational music somehow.
The answer is kind of no, because we just have less like kind of monocle. Well, but it's like it's like streaming stuff like Glass Animals. It's not as tied to a personality in the same way.
The thing of culture now, though, is that I think that we don't have anybody like this because the late 2000s and early 2010s was a point of unbridled optimism. Like there's a correlation of like Billboard and politics, and like looking at the Obama years, it's why you got a lot of Flo Rida's, David Guetta's, and this sort of sound of middle school dance music. And I don't think we can achieve that now because the culture is much more dismal than we were stupid and silly, and songs like this and people like this could take number 1. We can't do
Drake
sort
was
of
like this
Flo Rida person.
I was going to
anymore.
bring up Drake, where
Drake, the motto came on as I was listening to the radio of this podcast or the radio of this place after it ended. I was like, dude, Drake is killing it on this song. What happened?
Anytime you listen to early Drake now, it's really shocking to do a side-by-side.
It's genuinely depressing is what it is.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, I totally understand how this guy became like the biggest guy in the world.
Hell yeah, fucking right came on after this playlist for me, and I was like, this is a different man. Like, this is true, not even the same.
But it is exactly what I was talking about, though, which is that even back in the over hell yeah fucking right phase, if you print out early Drake lyrics on a piece of paper and you read them aloud, they sound fucking silly. Like, it's not like he wasn't being cringy then. It's just that his charisma has just been a steady decline. And it used to be that he had enough energy where in the early music, it's like, that he's really goofy on Over, but you don't care because he's so committed to it that you're like, all right, I will buy what you're selling.
Well, ever since Drake got beefy,
a breaking point.
Yeah, like Drake's beefy era, I think, is when he started to go downhill. Because
it started to tip before then, though. Like in the views, like I'm taking pictures with big fur coats and like pretending to be a mafioso. I consider views
beefy era. I think like the cutoff for me is maybe like if you're reading this, it's too late.
That's
I feel like that's
the last good Drake album.
Yeah.
I was never tapped in. I was an annoying kid, but
I kind of stick up for More Life. It might just be that was the Drake album that when I was still DJing parties where I needed to have Drake songs on them, there were like a lot of songs from More Life that I would
More
still
Life
play.
is the one after Views, right?
More Life's like the dance hall one. Yeah.
More Life is just like when his albums start being just long playlists, and so it's hard to even talk about how that album works as an album because it's not even an album. But like of the like 25 songs or however many songs are on that album, there's like a much higher rate of good ones than on Views.
I mean, Passion Fruit is probably like
Fruit's a very good song.
Maybe his best song.
I have a juke edit of Passion Fruit that I just downloaded.
Did he retroactively put Hotline Bling on? Was that Views or was that More Life?
Views.
Oh,
okay.
Views. Yeah.
Shout out to DJ PayPal who just dropped the second edition of his Drake edits that has a juke remix of Passion Fruit that's absolutely filthy.
I feel like we have to move on since Drake isn't on this playlist.
He is not. It's true. We're on a tangent right now.
Very much off of.
But we got more bang. I mean, Club Candy
the easiest pivot of all time.
Folks, we're going down south. We're going down south for this next one. All right,
Maddie, really?
I don't think we're moving at all.
We can go wherever we can go wherever we want. That's the thing.
But actually, we're staying down south for this one. Actually.
Who trades crypto and lives in the city now.
The official anthem of the Ron DeSantis 2024 campaign.
Shout out to
Oh, no.
We are now it's time. The people that you've been surprised they haven't made an appearance thus far in either of these episodes. We had to break the seal eventually. It's LMFAO time, people. We're talking about some uncle nephew magic.
And Sky Blue.
Half uncle, half nephew magic. I should clarify.
I launched this to Jackie a couple days ago, but this sounds like a Billie Eilish song to me, at least like the first 20 seconds.
100%. Wow.
That's actually
you just got done with 4 slow songs.
Yes.
And now we're just kicking it back up. Just mad.
In a certain way, yes. However, the song that's actually ripping off like directly is Flat Beat by Mr. Oiseau, which is a like hit blog. It's like a hit Bloghouse era song. I don't know if people know this guy.
No. Please tell me more.
You will recognize. I'm gonna put this in the chat. We have to watch this video.
Oh wait, I forgot about the Florida acapella. Oh no.
I just
Maybe we'll go out on that.
I just posted this this like commercial. It was, I don't know how to explain this. He had a song in like 2000 that then got really popular in like 2007 because it was in a commercial he like directed. But he has this guy called Flat Eric that is like this little puppet guy, and there's a really, really great music video that I posted in the chat where whatever. The point is that when you listen to the flat beat,
here's what I want to do.
When you listen to the flat beat bass line, you realize it's the exact bass line that they're ripping for this and just making it. It's not like an egregious plagiarism because it's different enough, but like
God,
you can absolutely
Macklemore just joined LMFAO for like a boy genius super group in 2010.
No. I mean, they're very different vibes. No. That's the thing, is that Macklemore's like Thrift Shop is LMFAO adjacent, but the rest of all of Macklemore's stuff is so self-serious. Like Wings was his big breakout song before. Same Love is more the median of Macklemore's career than the outlier.
Oh, I just like the idea. I wasn't thinking too hard.
No, but I do know what you, I mean. Like, this is a great song. I mean,
this song is awful. I hate it. Like, I listen to this, I'm like, this is terrible.
Well,
I'm
have you tried listening to? Maybe you should try listening to "I'm in New York, Bitch" or "I'm in LA, Bitch," and maybe you'll have a different perspective.
I mean,
I'm in Virginia.
Know this? No. They made like 50 different versions of this song. Like literally, like one for every. I'm in your city trick.
Every major metropolitan area.
LMFAO stayed focused in life and remained about the bag. They were just releasing edits of the song
that they
for
visited
localized
more
streaming.
cities than Sufjan Stevens.
Matt Motrin, the guy that sings about things in places, ripped LMFAO off, or LMFAO ripped that guy off.
What?
I'm in Hartford trick.
I'm in New Bedford trick.
No, this is crazy. He's singing about
I'm in Richmond
cities in the Northeast that have like 50,000 people.
I will now be listing the entirety of the "I'm in Your Trick" titles.
I'm gonna go use these.
Oh no!
I'm in Austin Trick. I'm in Boise Trick. I'm in Boston Trick. I'm in Cleveland Trick. I'm in Corpus Trick. I'm in Dallas Trick. I'm in DC Trick. I'm in Detroit Trick. I'm in El Paso Trick. I'm in Fort Worth Trick. Shout out to Gavin. I'm in Fort Wayne Trick. I'm in Grand Rapids Trick.
Shout out to Michigan.
I'm in H-Town Trick. I love how sometimes they use nicknames and sometimes they use the full cities. I'm in Harrisburg Trick. I'm in Hartford Trick. There's H-Town Trick and also
there's two.
Houston Trick. They're separate.
Yeah.
I'm in Lafayette Trick. I'm in Milwaukee Trick. I'm in New Bedford Trick.
My god.
New Jersey Trick.
You're New Jersey.
I'm in New Orleans Trick. I'm in New Rich Trick. I'm in New York Trick. Boroughs mix. I don't know what that is.
I'm so curious as to what the boroughs
Manhattan,
mix.
Brooklyn, crap like that.
They got John Gotti on the cut.
Exactly. I'm in OKC Trick. I'm in
Staten
Island Trick.
Wait, Jackie, you have to go back to the beginning and listen to the beginning of this because it is.
Sorry.
From what I caught, it was quite funny.
Okay, hang on.
I just want to say really quick, I'm in New York, Trick, and you're bringing me down.
All right, hang on. Let's
get your hands up. Staten Island, put that up. Get your hands up. Queens in Brooklyn, put that up. I'm in New York, Trick. When I step on the scene.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
I'm in OKC, Trick. I'm in Palm Beach, Trick. I'm in Philly, Trick. I'm in Portland, Trick. I'm in Reno, Trick. I'm in Richmond, Trick. I'm in Rochester, Trick. I'm in Sacktown, Trick. Seattle, Trick. I'm in South Coast, Trick. I'm in the A, Trick. I'm in the Berg, Trick. I'm in the cities, Trick. I assume that's the Twin Cities. I'm in the desert, Trick. That's pretty vague.
What does that mean?
I'm in the Duke, Trick. I don't even know what that means. I'm in the Rapids, Trick.
We're on disc 4, mind you.
They all sound exactly the same except for I'm in Philly, Trick, which is like a jangle pop down-tuned acoustic guitar remix.
Why do they have like 27 million views?
Because they a lot of these are using the same Spotify like whatever
metadata
exactly
thing.
Yeah. I'm in Charleston, Trick. I'm in Chattanooga, Trick. I'm in LA, Trick.
We're
Took them
still
a long
doing
time
this.
to get to I'm in LA, Trick.
Yeah.
They're
And
alphabetized.
No, I think LA is.
It's on the far side of the country. Yeah.
After LA, there are then a series at the end that are uncensored. So all these were Trick, and then you have I'm in LA, bitch, which they have in LA Trick and LA bitch separately, and then they have I'm in Miami, bitch remix. I'm in
Featuring
Diego, bitch. I'm in Las Vegas, bitch. I'm in the Bay, bitch. I'm in the Valley, bitch. And then, lastly but not least, I'm in Las Vegas, bitch.
The remix.
Wow.
I'm in the Bay, bitch is my favorite Lana Del Rey song.
I'm in
Why?
It's me, your little I'm in the Bay bitch.
It's still terrible, but like it's not like LMFAO is known for like making good music. They're known for fucking I'm sexy and I know it.
I would not fully discount that. They got some
How
great
do we
songs.
feel about Party
and
Rock? Can we get a temperature check on Party
so
Rock?
I was
I love Party Rock
was
Anthem.
honestly gonna say like part of the reason why
Rihanna,
I
did you
chose.
say that was an anthem?
No, I love Party Rock Anthem.
Yeah,
it is the anthem.
Yeah,
it's
Party
the
Rock
moment. Yeah.
Party Rock Anthem is an
was-
anthem. I agree.
I was thinking about including one of those bigger songs in this episode, but I decided to do this one because we'd never talked about it before, but also it feels wrong to talk about Party Rock Anthem without Molly O'Brien on this episode. Like, we need to eventually just bring Molly on and do a full dissertation on the Party Rock mindset. And until we're ready to fully enter the Sorry for Party Rocking Party Rock Anthem headspace and do like a full LMFAO exploration.
That's honestly a good candidate for Gotta Get That
Party
remix.
Rock Anthem is like
absolutely.
Party Rock Anthem is a song that transcends like the middle school dance genre. Party Rock Anthem was the monolith for like a year.
Yeah.
We like to joke about that song, but it was the song for a while. And like
it's what brought shuffling into the culture.
Yes,
those hamsters were dancing in the Kia, and we fucking loved it.
Kids with cargo shorts and neon like I brought the party T-shirts were everywhere.
I was gonna bring this up in a later song, but like I was a middle school kid that was growing up when the Oregon Ducks were popping in 2009, 2010, wearing their yellow uniforms everywhere. You bet everyone was wearing neon colors.
Yep.
So,
peak of swag YOLO era.
Maybe I'm like not remembering something correctly here, but like when those hamsters like were popular, were they advertising the Kia Soul?
Yeah,
like it's like literally like when that little ugly ass box car came out.
Yes,
that was it. They were in
I hate
Kia
those,
Soul.
and we actually we were making fun of one of my coworkers for it because he just got married to a child
Hamsters
bride.
are in the back seat.
We'll put a pin in that. But he's like, yeah, my wife just moved up here, and I bought her a car. And we're like, what car did you buy her? We're like, a Kia Soul. And we're like, that's so ugly. Why would you do that? And she's like 19, and her first car is a Kia Soul bought by her husband.
Oh my god.
He's like
she was
28.
convinced by the
How old is the
hamsters.
husband? How old is the husband?
28 or 29.
Oh no!
Yeah, uncomfortably bad. Like, and he started telling us, and he met her on TikTok.
No!
He drove to Alabama to go see her.
I can't fly a red flag. I need like a red like banner. I need some kind of some sort of smoke signal.
Like, do you hear the people sing head ass like red and black?
Like, no, he straight up like he drove from Virginia to Alabama after like 3 months of dating, and he went with the idea that he was going to propose to her.
Oh my god!
I'm an Alabama trick.
We were like, dude, no.
I'm in Montgomery trick. That was what John Prine sang about.
I would love to use this as a seamless transition to someone else that is probably a sexual predator, but
I'm sorry about this.
We have to really quickly make a pit stop. Maddie, can we just watch this like the first minute of the Mr. Wazo 5-beat video before we move on?
Okay. Well, we need to also watch this other video that I forgot for the last time. My apologies.
I want to float an idea really quick. I think we should abolish the Electoral College, and all voting in the United States should be done via the I'm in Miami Trick EP, and whichever song gets the most listens, that's how votes are attributed.
So to be clear about the origin process of this song is that like this song existed, and then it was in a commercial that was very popular, and this little puppet guy was in the commercial, and then the puppet guy sort of becomes the guy's mascot for his actual music. And I think either this video or another one is directed by Michelle Gondry, I want to say, but like
Jackie, what are you
Jesus
doing?
Christ.
This is scaring me.
No, but this bass line is the I'm in Miami bitch. Drink all day, smoke all night. Let's get it poppin'.
Jackie, I am in awe of your mind. Truly, your mind palace is something to be admired and studied.
I had a Jimmy Neutron Blaine Bass moment, being like, "What does this remind me of?" And it's this song, which Mr. Wazo is a big figure in the kind of Bloghouse era, along with like these Boys Noise sort of adjacent of like European dudes who made stuff like. I love the song "Positif." That's a great track.
That's really smart.
Jackie, I will say like your ability to recognize and like match. And like beats like that is impressive.
It also like I looked up the timeline and the commercial, or like when that music video. The music video is older, but then it was in a commercial that I think comes out in 2007. It's a Levi's commercial for some reason, where Flat Eric is in the. It's like 30 seconds. I'll just post it in the Zoom real quick. But the commercial comes out like a year or two before the LMFAO song does. So the timeline makes out as far as them seeing the commercial, and then and also the song becoming more popular because of the commercial, and then them sort of jacking it. But
I mean, that makes sense because I don't really peg LMFAO as harbingers of artistic integrity.
No, 100% not.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I personally feel like this era kind of like ends with Gangnam Style. This like at least like this pervasive sound like Gangnam Style is like the last one. What do you think?
What
like,
was the fucking Fox song? That was one.
I was gonna say what does the Fox say by Ylvis?
Yeah.
I love making that joke instead of the Elvis movie. What is the Ylvis movie? But moving on, I feel like I was gonna say that exact song is like kind of like just what the random general pop culture like moved on to as like the hit song, and from there it like devolved. I wanted to ask the group like, what do we think like the next song in that lineage is? Because I feel like it was Gangnam Style, and then it was What Does the Fox Say, and then I don't know, and then I feel like
I think
we
like
talked about the dissipating monoculture. Like I feel like after that point, it's probably something Drake.
Well, I think like it's either Drake or, I mean, somebody that we're gonna get to later in the playlist, Justin Bieber. I feel like Purpose was like what do you mean or sorry captured the moment.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's true.
The thing that happens that changes, and I think Gangnam Style breaks the dam on like a certain kind of electronic leading pop crossover sort of thing, where it takes it to this extreme where that style then becomes a little played out, and what it shifts to is the more kind of 2010s EDM pop sound.
Yes,
like,
and especially
you know what it is? It's the handoff between Gangnam Style and Martin Garrix's Animals. Like Martin Garrix's Animals becomes what replaces this kind of music.
It's barely a song, but the Harlem Shake fits in there somewhere too.
Yeah, no,
I was
the
thinking
Harlem
of that
Shake
as well.
is like right at the same time, right after.
And I think like taking that sort of thread, because I do think Sorry by Justin Bieber was part of the monoculture for a second, and then it kind of gets to, I think the last song that was that moment of monoculture was Despacito. Like from a historical perspective.
Good facts.
Because I think that like and there's like I've read, you know, like I work in pop music, like I have a lot of books on Despacito specifically because it's so interesting, because Despacito was the moment that the culture sort of unified around a particular sound that was being hinted at in Sorry.
Despacito?
2017.
Okay.
Was it like
I feel like the Harlem Shake was in there somewhere too.
I feel like
Harlem
Havana
Shake
was
was
huge.
2012, 2013.
I was just looking at this. So Gangnam Style is 2013. Harlem Shake is Gangnam Style is 2012. Harlem Shake is 2013.
Yeah.
No, but Despacito in 2017 was, I think, the final moment before the culture of music fractured and split up into a million different places, because there were so many stones
what about like
laid.
Adele? Like Hello?
Hello was, you know, I could see Hello factor into there, but I think ballads are slightly different.
Who's got the historical context on whether or not Despacito was popping off before Justin Bieber hopped on it? Like, did he?
Absolutely.
He was, but he helped take it over the edge.
That's okay.
Well, the whole Despacito thing is that like Luis Fonsi and of course Daddy Yankee are, you know, absolute staples in Latin music and culture for the 2000s. No question. The thing with Despacito and why it's so important is that Justin Bieber was on the top of the fucking world at that time, and he hopped on a Latin track and he helped popularize that Latin track so much that it brought in Latin music and reggaeton into the dominant Western culture in a way that hasn't necessarily been done since Gasolina.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting at with the Sean Kingston thing earlier too, where it's like, you know, he was striking before the iron was sort of there, when it's like, you know, if you release that shit after Justin Bieber has hopped on Despacito, like your Spotify numbers are multiplying by hundreds.
Yeah, it was the first time that like Western music executives sort of realized like, oh wait, this isn't actually a niche audience. I mean, actually, when you factor in the entire world, they way outnumber the number of English-speaking white people.
But it's true.
Yeah.
The stones were laid there, because like even looking at Gangnam Style, right? Like that song was massive and global, but also was not an American. So you know what I mean? Like it wasn't something that was Western oriented. So like you can even look at Despacito and draw that connection through Gangnam Style and that sort of monoculture song from a different culture.
Yeah, no.
Which it also it knocked off Gangnam Style as being the most viewed music video on YouTube. Which, by the way, Despacito is currently number 2. Which, of course, number 1 on the most viewed music video ranking is Baby Shark.
Really?
Oh, of course.
It's Baby Shark.
Baby Shark.
Kids can't get enough of Baby Shark.
And I mean, it is a banger.
Is that the new cultural monolith at this point?
But, I mean, Baby Shark does kind of feel sort of in the Gangnam Style lineage, but we can move on.
If you're interested in Despacito lore, I recommend the book Decoding Despacito, An Oral History of Latin Music by Leila Cobo. That is an excellent book. And honestly, you could write a PhD on the things that Despacito has done and meant for Latin music and culture. Straight up.
Rihanna, were you on the episode? I don't remember which episode I talked about this. Are you aware of Max? Rihanna, are you aware of the lore that when I worked at a coffee shop, there was like a 4-month period where they were only playing classic music covers of pop music? So it was like a violin quartet playing pop songs, and one of the songs was Despacito. Like in the year that I had to listen to like a violin cover of Despacito once a day, and it made me insane.
Beautiful. It's quite gorgeous.
It made me so insane.
I mean, speaking
Honestly,
of going
I didn't
insane,
realize that there was actually like a real book about Despacito, Rihanna. I'm
There
sorry.
is, yeah.
I thought
There's
you were
several-
joking.
No,
Like, it was
there's several. It's honestly like something to be academically studied. There's like something in I don't know if it's like officially sort of coined, but there's like the Despacito effect.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to major in Despacito now.
No.
Can I major in Despacito?
I feel like there's just like some level of like Americans need to be like spoon fed like different types of culture.
This is a new song I've been working on. I hope you guys enjoy it.
We're-
Shorty's like a diamond sword in my head. Something na 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 every day. It's like my Minecraft stuck on replay.
we're getting a little too serious there. I had to silly it up for a second.
Oh my god.
Shorty's like the lowest G in my head. Peter and Quagmire and all that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyways, all right.
Giggity, giggity, every day. It's like my Quagmire stuck on replay.
Okay, let's move on.
Rihanna, would you say that like
go ahead.
Despacito like opened the doors for like Latin music into America, or was it something that would have happened like regardless without it? I don't know if you have like enough about it to like.
I mean, I think I think that again there were precedent like Gasolina, like like Suavemente getting a lot of.
When Gasolina came out?
2000, early 2000s. I'm gonna say
That's early. Like
2002.
we were listening to that in like my high school Spanish class of being like, yup.
2004.
I remember my Spanish class was La Camisa Negra by
Ooh,
Juanes.
That was
Yes,
by Juanes.
yes.
That's
Juanes.
my man.
Oh, the
That
king.
one, La Camisa Negra, fun fact, was number 101 on my top 100 songs this year. Banger, classic.
God.
That is a banger. No, I remember.
We
Juanes
gotta do a whole. I mean, as the
bring
only
Juanes
Latin
back.
member
I
of
think I was
constituent
mentioning
right
we
now.
do like a Bad Bunny like centric episode, like just Latin music in general. Like, please.
I think
please
I
enlighten
would
me.
I would love to have us do that just so we can talk about the Tom York singing Gasolina edit video where they
I love that video.
Isn't
Like
there
it
like a-
genuinely makes me smile. I know it's really stupid, but that video is just like
the Tom York body wiggling being put onto the Gasolina is one of the funniest. You gotta watch the first video. The hip movement that Tom York does doing like he's doing like the gloaming right now is what he's performing.
I think I saw it was myxomatosis, which is like basically the exact same amount of syllables.
Way blow honey. Okay, like what is he singing that's like so well in sync with Gasolina?
I think it's myxomatosis.
it is myxomatosis.
Yeah.
Then they
What
have
the
the video
fuck?
in the next one.
We could
For the
do.
actual-
we gotta move on. We can't.
Okay,
But Max,
could
Max,
do-
to circle it back though to our topic at hand, I think another guy that did it really well is Pitbull.
Yeah, no, totally.
I was gonna bring up Enrique Iglesias with the Ludacris
Yes.
verse on "Tonight I'm Loving You." What a talk about
You
foundational.
mean Tonight I'm Fucking You?
That's right.
I'm sorry.
It's a middle
about
school
the next
dance
song. I'm
episode.
gonna be-
So true,
I'm
so true.
sorry about this, but yeah, I gotta stick up for myself.
Okay, we gotta move on.
Yeah,
we have
this
half
episode's
of
going
the
on for a
playlist
while.
still to go.
Yeah,
This is gonna be a two. This is probably gonna be a two-parter.
Oh,
It's gonna be
no.
released in two parts,
It is.
probably.
We
Oh,
can keep
no.
Maddie, we can get through the rest.
Takes us.
We've
I don't-
had most of the big
who's
hitters.
been doing this podcast for coming up on?
Maddie,
Oh, shit,
I'm
we're
trying
coming
to
on-
hurry it up.
Don't
I'm
trust
actually
Marty.
not
I know,
taking
I
us
know,
down
I
Jackie,
know.
we're
high
having a great
tangents.
time.
It's not
right
you.
now.
It's not you,
We
Jack.
are
I'm just
having
saying.
fun. You did say originally that you were just gonna sit here and let us cook.
Again, I'm not. This goes to two parts. Again, if I have to release this as two parts, I'm not mad about that. I'm just
No,
saying,
like-
like, hey,
I'm
We're-
sorry,
we're
you
approaching
invited the producer of one of the most analyses-based music podcasts onto the show and didn't expect me to talk about Despacito for 20 minutes.
Rihanna,
I wasn't worried about
Rihanna-
you. I was more worried about like Max, probably.
No, like,
Why would you do that? Yeah.
like,
I would be worried about AJ,
I'm
or Dal AJ.
when it comes to like music, I'm comparatively like I'm kind of an idiot, and I'm not like mad about it or anything. But like when Reanna said that they could do the podcast today, I was so excited because I knew that they would bring like a more intelligent perspective to me. Just be like, yeah, this shit is awesome. And
I also agree with this.
I really appreciate having that balance, and I knew that I was going to come in with a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm. And I knew that Rihanna.
I'm playing this next song. We're just gonna do it.
Yeah, Max.
Thank you.
Let's bring the intelligence level down a little bit. Let's crank that brain cells dial to 1 or 0.
This band.
You guys can say that like I bring an intelligent and educated stance to this episode, but I fucking love this song.
It's
this
so
is
good.
maybe like
song is so good.
3 songs on this playlist.
This band is evil.
I made my thoughts on 303 known last middle school dance episode.
I'm fucking scared. Them being evil has nothing to do with whether the song slaps or not.
Like,
That's the thing.
Because this band gives so much inspiration to a lot of the bands that just like I think are just so dumb right now. And it's just like I can see their influence and I can see what they've affected, and like all of it I'm just like, no, I don't want any part of it. And I can respect what they did, but like me looking at it now, it's just like I can't do it.
Dude, they're so grimy. Like it, and I don't know. I like the song, so I'm not gonna like go and like shit on 303 the way that some of you may feel inclined to do so. But the thing that you can clock them on every single time is that like they're the equivalent of like stale PBR breath.
They are.
You can see
100%.
You can just see the influence just everywhere.
Right.
The song.
And it's disgusting.
I mean, when people talk about indie sleaze, like a solid percentage of that is like this song that people are specifically thinking of. I feel like, and I specifically, I mean, we talked about My First Kiss, and they've got other hits, but like this song at the time in middle school, I cannot explain how Titanic, like I'm a vegetarian and I ain't fucking scared of him was. Like all of this was
the moment.
So big.
The last episode that I was on in this podcast was the Eurovision episode, and the first thing I thought of was, instead of meat, I eat veggies and pussy. And then this lyric right here also, shush girl, shut your lips, do the Helen Keller and talk with your hips. That was poetry right there.
You couldn't write a song like that these days.
A surprising number of people, like this was never a thing in Portland, but a surprising number of people in North Carolina have had a Hinge bio where it's like, my controversial opinion is that Helen Keller she could see and talk and shit like that. And it's like, what are you gaining dying on that hill? Sorry, let's get back to the music.
There was a guy that I think used to be a moderator of Hip Hop Heads, or was just like either a big figure on Hip Hop Heads, who had a rap song called Helen Keller that was very good that I can't find anywhere on.
Oh, this
like,
sounds so familiar.
Anymore.
What the hell?
His name was like Mr. 3 or his rap name was like Mr. 3 or something like that, but now he doesn't make rap music anymore. But like the chorus was like, "Bitch, I'm Helen Keller. Can't see these haters. Can't hear these haters," etc.
Oh my god.
It was great. No, but this song is. I understand what you mean, Max. Like they. 303 have to bear partial responsibility for the dare, right? Like the dare is trying to synthesize 303 and LCD Sound System into one band, essentially. And the problem with the dare is that they managed to combine the least appealing parts of both acts into one unholy monstrosity. IMO.
See, Jackie, I haven't listened to the dare. I feel like I do feel like I'm growing up because I haven't listened to that song. And I feel like a younger me would have just hate listened to that song one time. And I
kind of like it. Oops.
I don't.
Is it James trying to be a new James Murphy?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's literally.
That's awesome.
He's literally.
I've got to investigate the dare. What is this?
Max, you AJ, you don't know? Oh wow.
Oh no, I haven't yet taken the dare.
We can't get down this. The unfortunate thing is just that yeah, exactly. You guys are in Raleigh. I'm in Los Angeles, where I don't choose to listen to this song. It happens to me by force occasionally, including a night when I was out with Matty not too long ago where they played this song twice in one night, and like the first
Where
time
was it?
They called it a double
it was
the dare.
At what's it called, the bar that's across the street from the Echo. It was for like a We Did It
El Prado.
But it was like the first time I was like mildly annoyed. I think the instrumental of the song is fun, and I think everything the guy is doing gets a big thumbs down for me. But the second time I had to hear it in one night, I was like ready to commit a murder. Like I was so mad.
Like yeah, if your band in 2022 could be described as the term dance punk, you should look at yourself long enough.
No, dance punk is good. No, he's not doing dance punk. What he's doing is that he's wearing a fucking suit on the cover, and he's trying to bring back quote unquote indie sleaze, which is really, it wasn't a thing at the time. It's all retroactive nonsense. We cannot get on the dare tangent.
Is
but
that
I did
living
mean
in
to
the
bring
shadow
it up.
of Matty Healy? Is Matty Healy like tuxedo?
It is 100% trying to synthesize like the sort of hot topic sensibility of 303, the New York City cool kid, tasteful references, electronic production of LCD Sound System, and the Matty Healy Tumblr brain thing all into one package, and I don't like it. Burn it with fire.
Here's all I need to know about the dare. On his inspirations playlist on Spotify, he has a song from the 2021 Porches album.
Well, he played in Porches. He's in.
Oh,
I know he's in their touring band for some.
Hey,
tour.
Britt, what kind of coke you got there? Is that cherry coke?
Cherry coke.
Smoking on that cherry coke.
I'm giving it to the bear. The cocaine bear.
I love Bloghouse. I went on the Endless Scroll bonus feed to do an episode on Bloghouse not too long ago because they were asked to do it, and they were like, we have no idea how to discuss the cultural context of this, and I was like, hello, I can help.
What does Bloghouse mean?
That was I literally had an hour-long conversation on this. Do not let me go on.
I don't think we should let her do that.
No.
We've gone on for 2 hours.
We have to move on, but like I think that this song, I think, embodies it is the moment in which you've had pop punk culture kind of mainstream
Kids,
for a while.
I don't teach your boyfriend how to dance with you. Is that Bloghouse?
That's Black Kids. That's not Bloghouse.
I said that was Black Kids.
Max,
I wouldn't say it's Bloghouse.
we can't keep going that way.
Bloghouse is like this is a whole tangent. We need to move on.
Question because that's a song that I thought might be.
We should probably move on to.
I was just gonna finish up just saying that like 303 arrives at like the tail end of the Warped Tour pop punk era of pop punk becoming fully mainstream. Like we're in a post all-time low, a post Panic at the Disco sort of universe, and then you've also got all of this like indie dance music stuff that's really getting popular and crossing over to the mainstream consciousness. And 303 were the people that were like, what if we were able to cross the divide between the neon pop punk I Heart Boobies kids with the kids doing MDMA and bringing them all under one roof, and also Kesha's
The silly band's kids have grown up and they're ready to talk about sex.
Okay, so like mid 2000s is like Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy.
Yes.
Do 303 like, are they glowing up with them, or is it just like 2008 or so?
I can answer that.
And change the
so
game.
the late 2000s, we got like Cobra Starship.
Airplanes,
you know, like
right?
Fall Out Boy sort of. Airplanes is like 2008. So like you're looking
that
at like
feel the same to me. But go on. Sorry.
No. Late 2000s, you have the sort of, I was gonna say, the Fueled by Ramen constituent, where like I thought 303 was on Fueled by Ramen, but they're not because it's so sonically similar around the same time period. So like Panic at the Disco, you're looking at 2005 on. Fall Out Boy turning sort of less punk and more sort of the pop punk style that we know them for was with From Under the Cork Tree, which I believe came out in like 2005, 2006. So like that's the sort of time period when things start to shift. Cobra Starship becomes really big in like 2007, 2008, which is the year that Want came out. So it's kind of like zeroing in at a very specific time in that sort of Fueled by Ramen dialogue where they're dominating the sort of pop aspect of the culture, while also playing things like Warped Tour, like exactly like Jackie said.
Oh, you know what's really
I
funny,
just
Rihanna?
pulled up Wikipedia,
Yeah, you're right.
and 303 was on Fueled by Ramen.
This is hilarious.
Let's go.
They ended up on Fueled by Ramen on their 2016 album, meaning that it was a co-release with Atlantic, so their major they did not come from Fueled by Ramen and go major label. They end up there later, which is very weird and funny. But
I remember listening to that album in high school, and there's a track on it called "My Dick," which is
awful song, vile,
one of the worst songs I've ever heard.
Yep.
Correct.
I also just want to say one last thing as far as precedents that sort of lead us to it. The one song that feels very twin with this song, and a song that absolutely could have been on this episode, is Metro Station "Shake It," which comes out 1 year before the first 303 record.
That was
feels very important to this kind of.
That was my first ever ringtone as a song. Was Metro Station "Shake It."
Time on this, but
that's a good song.
Is the 8-track remix of Heads Will Roll, is that like middle school dance core?
That's Bloghouse, Max. Yeah. that is like the Bloghouse song. So you're identifying that there is a real strong, because they're happening simultaneously, right? Like you've got the maximalism happening in pop music that is giving us all of these really glitzy dance beats, and that's coinciding with a sort of rising tide of underground indie dance music that's about to lead into what becomes the EDM boom and people like David Guetta becoming
another perfect alley-oop, honestly, because everything we just said I think like retroactively applies to this song that we're about to get
David
into.
Guetta,
I also think that
halfway through the playlist.
I think that that 303 and the song we're about to go to sort of segue capture the energy perfectly of like Osiris sneakers and like the dude working the counter at Journeys, you know, like Shake It, 303.
I'm like a little bit older. I don't think I'd ever heard this song before. This song was like brand new to me. Yeah.
This song is a fucking
Are we talking about the 303 song?
Yeah, we're moving on.
No, Memories, David Guetta with Kid Cudi.
I don't think I've ever really this song didn't have much of a connection.
Yeah, isn't this song in Project X?
I can't disagree more. I mean, this is also a very Bloghouse adjacent song
to it right
because.
Now.
So Max, but you do know Day and Night specifically the Crookers remix, right?
I don't know.
Is that the what's the Kid Cudi remix from Project X?
That's what it is. It's
that's the wait, AJ. That's the song in Project X.
Yes,
I think they're both in Project X. Honestly,
that's what I was thinking because I was like, this is the most Project X ass song I've ever heard.
It's not this one. No, there's like specifically
the hilarious thing about it. I think it probably is the Crookers
this song
remix.
In my mind is just replaced by Man of the Year by Schoolboy.
Oh no, we're getting Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Remix.
The huge
is what ends up. But no, but this song was honestly, this is my favorite of the. It's so good. This song, honestly, like just an absolute banger. And even though it is 100% ripping off the Crookers remix of Day and Night, like basically Day and Night comes out and that's Kid Cudi's breakout hit. And then there's this Crookers remix, which he's a guy that was very big in the sort of Bloghouse scene. And like that remix becomes absolutely huge. And David Guetta, like 6 months later, calls up Kid Cudi and is like, hey, I made a beat that's like basically copying Day and Night remix. Can you come on this and like give me my own version of it? And this is Kid Cudi's second like real big hit. And just like, I don't know. This song rocks. I think this song. I might even like this more than Club Can't Handle Me, which I know is like a absolutely blasphemous take. But this
there's no need to even say that.
So much fun. I don't know. I'm a Kid Cudi apologist. I'm not a Kid Cudi save my life person, but like I also do just really like listening to his voice a lot of the time, and think that this is like one of the best applications of him in a real pop context.
Honestly, like, I feel like the Kid Cudi Save My Life has a lot of similarities to, like, Pitbull Save... Not, like, Pitbull Save My Life, but, like, the Pitbull connection that, like, some people have to Pitbull. Like, a different demographic of people might have to Kid Cudi, where, like, from an outsider perspective, it's like, why would you have that connection or relationship with him? But when you, like, think about it on a deeper level or, like, spend more time with it, it's like... it makes total sense why someone might have like this connection, even though you may think it's silly. Like have this deep connection with an artist.
I think it's different only in that Kid Cudi has always marketed himself as an outcast type figure, which is very different than Pitbull. Like people do have an emotional connection to Pitbull, but more that like they associate Pitbull with like some of their fondest memories, whereas Kid Cudi, it's like you were there for me. You were the when there were 2 steps of footsteps, Kid Cudi was carrying me or whatever. Like
I think there's a straight line from Kid Cudi Save My Life type people to like Phoebe Bridgers fans who wear the skeleton jumpsuits. Like you're in the same mind palace there that you kind of have, because it is like, they're making like, I feel recognized and sort of supported by their music. And even if it's not, mirroring my experience, like Kid Cudi kind of had he was always the sort of
people, but like
maybe not the same group of people, but it's the same.
That's like
the
modern fandom,
yes.
Like I think fandom has always been super obsessive, because like you're even looking at like the whole Mitski drama, it's like people being like, you saved my life, so I have right over you and your music, and you mean a lot to me.
I feel like this is something
parasocial relationship
I've been thinking about a lot recently, but just like the idea of like everything in our lives, like everything that we like tries to make it so that like we buy more things from that thing that we enjoy, and like whether it's hobbies or whatever. I'm not trying to be like super consumer or whatever. It's just a podcast things. Like it feels like so much in our lives, people are just like, they're like, I mean, companies are just getting their tendrils out advertising to us, and like when you just have Pitbull talking about good vibes and shit, you're like, yeah, like you might be selling me stuff also, but also you're giving me a good song along with it.
No, yeah, 100. There's something much more straightforward about Pitbull, where he is like a real old school showman. Like you feel like if Pitbull had been born 60 years earlier, he would have been a carny. You know what I mean?
Pitbull is trying to sell you the idea of the city of Miami. Like that.
And there's something more. There's something more forthright about the like consumer corporate aspect of Pitbull's music, which is that like so much music now is trying to sell you off like a version of authenticity that is secretly corporate versus back
it's
then it was just like Pitbull is making he's not pretending like this isn't, it's Mr. Worldwide. That's like the whole point is he's like, this is for literally everyone on the globe.
Well, that's what I was saying before, where like he's a celebrity rather than like a person with real thoughts and feelings, which I think is the opposite of Kid Cudi, who like is like, no, like, releases shit like Speeding Bullet to Heaven, where it's like so deeply, deeply personal and visceral. You're kind of like, oh, like, it makes you want to step back if you're not like a super intense fan. That's why I think like, and I'm not saying this because I'm wearing a Lady Gaga shirt. I'm saying this because it's the middle school dance episode. I think that's something that like really, really great artists that have massive fan bases manage well. That like the Lady Gagas and the Madonnas of the world, and even like looking at the same era, looking at like Katy Perry at the time, it was sort of like building this sort of pop culture pyramid and like standing in the pantheon while also making yourself a person to be idolized by people. That's why I love like the fame of not the album, like the fame concept of Lady Gaga, where it's like somebody a lot about her, but also she has such enough distance where she can maintain this superstar pop status.
Yeah, and that's like, I think it's like really hard to kind of like, especially with people like from our, like when we were in our middle school years, our brains aren't like fully formed yet because we're middle schoolers.
Correct.
And so it's very easy to develop those parasocial relationships anyway, because you just kind of go, this person's just like me, and I'm an angsty preteen, and this person's also an angsty preteen, and then you develop it, and it's kind of important for someone like that someone like Lady Gaga to kind of maintain that distance, especially with, literal children.
Yeah.
I was just gonna.
I feel like
circling back to
that's especially relevant because, like, I think a lot of, I feel like a lot of pop stars these days market themselves on an era or an aura of like relatability, even though they might not exactly be. So it's just like,
it's like the Billie Eilish sort of cookie cutter pop star thing, where it's like, where it's like, I'm just like you, I don't want to be a pop star.
Which it's a weird reformulation of the kind of 90s I don't want to be a pop star thing that we had with grunge, which was this whole idea of that there was nothing more compelling than Kurt Cobain being a rock star who didn't want to be a rock star. And it's different now where it's like they like being famous and they have to constantly be selling themselves to you in the way that we have to in the social media era, but it's different. It's the kind of, it's all more like, it's the way that like advertising is now like constantly hiding itself from us or trying to present itself as not whatever. We have to keep talking about the actual songs. We can't go on this side tangent. I have more things to say about Day and Night and Memories.
X universe, like a They Live type situation. Where like
we're really reminiscing about the time when commercials just treated us like, you are targets to be advertised to instead of when they were trying to buddy up with us.
Right. It's like I fell in love with
Dove treating me like I'm a human. Just sell me my goddamn soap.
Right, like I want to see more dancing hamsters.
Exactly.
Selling me cars.
What I'm saying.
We're sick of like the self-aware. It's like the same thing with Marvel movie quips.
Yeah.
It's like everything is so self-aware of itself. Everything is so in on the joke, and like we need more. Like we need celebrities to be out of touch, insane people, and that's why Lady Gaga is our most important celebrity.
Exactly, Jackie.
That is correct.
Why? And anyways, but back to the topic at hand, because I actually have things to say about Kid Cudi and Memories.
Oh my god,
so true.
We're still gonna talk about this song.
Max, I've been trying to steer us back to the song for like 10 minutes.
Jackie,
okay,
that's not working.
Memories is a good song, but Memories is like a blatant copy of like Day and Night, which was a MySpace hit. Like that's how Kid Cudi broke out. Was like, and that's why I think this song and early Kid Cudi in general is very indicative of this era. It's like out of the MySpace era. But then basically Day and Night comes out. It gets a remix by this Italian house duo called Crookers that comes out on Fool's Gold, and that comes out like in 2008. And exactly 1 year later, David Guetta comes out with this song with Kid Cudi that is very similar to the Crookers remix of Day and Night, which lots of people who are not in this party, people know that remix. It's like insanely famous. But
you've talked about it a lot.
It's like reference it quite a bit. It's one of the like if I was to make a list of like the 4 or 5 or like honestly 3 or 4 most important like Bloghouse songs.
It's the Despacito of Bloghouse.
Yeah, Crookers Day and Night is up there with
that song. Like changed lives.
See how similar this is to Memories, just like the kind of chord progression
like
of it
an
and everything.
LMFAO song, yeah.
But yeah, anyways, like this being a sound that then becomes super influential on the sound of like all this music, and launches the career of Kid Cudi, who immediately gets swept up by good music and all that sort of stuff, and links up with David Guetta, who we were talking about earlier. But David Guetta is really like, in a weird way that I didn't even realize till I looked over not his whole production discography and one of the patron saints of
his
middle school
fingerprints are all over this shit.
Sexy Bitch, that's him. Fucking I Got a Feeling.
What a good song.
Club Can't Even Handle Me Right Now. Memories. Like that's a lot of the pillar songs I think about.
It is weird how influential he is on this whole genre, because he's very easy to write off. It's just like this hack. And
he is a hack, but that's the thing is that he was a hack. Like there's a way to be a hack that you can still be kind of impactful and influential, because what he was doing is like synthesizing the work of probably more creatively interesting people and learning how to package those into forms that could then become world dominating hits, as opposed to like a big blog success. You know what I mean? Like,
and like I will like rally behind David Guetta, because I think like there was nobody better at producing these hits in that time period. Where like looking at the track list of One Love, it's like Sexy Bitch, Getting Over You, Memories, On the Dance Floor, When Love Takes Over. 5 songs that are classics in my eyes, and then you get better and better as you go on through his albums. Like the man knows how to make hits, and I think like I have
to crazy looking at this playlist.
Where them girls at?
Slow down. It does not slow down from here.
Here's what I want to say about Memories. They bring back you.
They bring back you.
How did we not touch on Maroon 5 this whole time?
Yeah, there was certainly a
I think we've said enough
songs.
about Maroon 5.
And specifically about memories. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But let's move on to our next song. Because we've got
this one is a monologue. This song
100%.
This song
Okay,
is Hal.
I am approaching this next song as a full stop hater. Like, I could not stand Justin Bieber when I was younger.
I was
like,
I was a middle school boy. I hated Justin Bieber.
Oh, okay. Like, one of the things that gave me like the most pleasure in life when I was in middle school was the episode of CSI where Justin Bieber guest starred and got shot.
I remember that.
Every generation has its Taylor Swift getting run over by a car in Amsterdam.
That was that moment.
Let's hear a little bit of Baby by Justin Bieber featuring Ludacris.
Do y'all know what Great Wolf Lodge is?
Yeah, of course I am. I'm from Michigan.
I just have like specific experience of like hearing this song in a Great Wolf Lodge while I was doing like the wizard quest or whatever.
Oh, I love that.
Like it's just so powerful hearing this song and just me being like 12 years old, just like I'm gonna kill Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
I mean,
my wand.
I think a lot of that, like a lot of the I hate Justin Bieber energy is a lot of like young boys being very mad about the existence of like this guy that was singing in a sort of feminine way. Like there's a lot of like internal psychology stuff going on there, but also it's just grating. Like his voice now is
I know
Justin Bieber could take your woman at any point in
I know the thing is that he's like, he was a young star, but like this is a baby. This is a this is truly a child. This sounds like an Alvin and the Chipmunks song.
100%.
Chipmunks
and like I think the chorus still actually works, and the chorus is the only reason why like all of the verses of Justin Bieber singing are really grating in like the way he sings like this.
I mean, we all know the best part of the song.
Legitimately, like like
the Ludacris verse.
Come on.
The Jackson 5 is like the only thing I could think of that's like comparable.
That actually is. It is.
This is like
Jackson
a child
5.
singing, and we're listening to it and like kind of not like considering it as adult music, but like we listen to this and like consider it in a pop music context rather than like this is novelty music made by a child.
True.
I had totally forgotten this, or maybe I didn't know this. The Dream wrote this song with Tricky Stewart.
Yeah, this is a Dream classic. I was looking at the credits for this track, and it's crazy. I mean, there's no question as to like why this got super big,
and it really adds to something that a lot of these young pop stars did, which is like, I'm a 13-year-old boy writing like a grown person love song. Like it is clear that like an adult wrote this.
13, I had my first love.
Baby also fit firmly into like that era for me because like I admittedly was like like a very leaning towards dislike on the Justin Bieber train, but this song for me I think over time has become a sort of place of nostalgia for me where like I don't really see it as a song anymore. I see it as like a memory of a place and time.
Totally.
And it transports me back to like being in like a friend's computer room watching YouTube videos of Justin Bieber.
I do think the instrumental on this song really works, and that might be its greatest strength. Like the hook is obviously what the hook is, but I think it's no Club Can't Handle Me right now, but that very simple chorus verse structure. Like I
think
like
it works really well.
I like the sort of horn sounds here, and I like the acoustic guitar bit. Yeah, like it's just.
I would also like to say we were breezing past it while it was happening, but perhaps the bar of the episode from Ludacris. She had me going crazy. I was starstruck. She woke me up daily.
Don't need no Starbucks.
Woo.
Yep.
Okay, I will also say, like, this song also led to, like, a whole bunch of nonsense, because you could tell that, like, all those people who worked on, like, Friday, or at least the guy who worked on Friday, that guy, like, they're clearly trying to emulate this song and try to, like,
100%.
It's like the revival of mainstream teeny bopper music.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
I mean, like this is very much in the lineage of Hanson, Mbop, and
exactly,
and other stuff like that.
But that's like music. Like I forget who said it.
Aaron
whether it was
Carter.
Yeah, exactly. Music by kids that we are supposed to treat as adult music.
Yeah.
Which is also
When
kind of
I
gets
was
into the weird way that
I
like
had my first
child
love.
stars are treated like
verse
adults.
Is crazy.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is. It is. I mean,
versus
Ludacris. Ludacris. We were talking about this a lot in the office the other day because Ludacris was recently featured on the Number Ones, Tom Brehen's column on Stereo Gum. I believe it was for Stand Back. I think it was his first number one hit. But in the thing, they talk about the Ludacris features run that starts with the Missy Elliott feature and then just goes on an absolute fucking tear. And we were listening to a bunch of them in the office and just like, Ludacris is incredible. Ludacris gets underrated in the way that
I agree.
And in the way that any funny rapper does. It's very similar to 2 Chainz, I think, which is that when you're a really charismatic rapper who has funny punchlines, it's very easy to be like, oh, you're a joke, you're a novelty. But it's like, no,
not everyone can do it.
No one can do it like 2 Chainz at the peak of
Ludacris's verse on All I Do Is Win is like genuinely, I think, in my top 5 favorite rap verses of all time. Like, Ludacris on All I Do Is Win is so good.
Okay, the run
we
from
just
fucking
that song for
no, we cannot. Like he does fucking Gossip Folks, Holiday Inn, featuring fucking Lil Jon
Classic.
and Usher, fucking Unpredictable, Glamorous.
oh, that song's so good.
Fucking Give Me That with Chingy. He has like 5 a year for several years in a row, just like these, and then every single time, even through Baby, which is kind of the tail end of sort of peak commercial Ludacris. Like the thing that makes Ludacris such a great features artist is that more than perhaps any other rapper in history, he is a cartoon character. And that is not, and I think that that's part of why people discount him, is that they're like, he's just this caricature, but he's so in control of his caricatureness, you know what I mean? Like he is a very self-aware of his goofiness and able to weaponize it and come into a track with just so much energy and bust down the door like the Kool-Aid Man. Like no one has had more Kool-Aid Man-esque entrances to songs.
In every like major label conference room in the early 2000s, there was a glass case that said break in case of like emergency fire bars needed, and you break that and there was just a phone that only had Ludacris's number on it.
Because like kids these days, they think of Ludacris as the guy from the. We're really invoking the Fast franchise.
He went
Maybe
to space.
Just me invoking the Fast.
I mean,
franchise
no, you're right too. There are a weird amount of tendrils leading from this playlist to the Fast and Furious.
Here's the crazy thing. He like plays the exact same role in the Fast and Furious movies.
Universe.
Yeah,
like this is just a Fast soundtrack, like in disguise. But we're not going to address that.
We also could have talked about Ludacris more if we decided to include "Break Your Heart," the other Tayo Cruz hit single. Which that
Ludacris. Song is also a banger.
Tayo Cruz rocks. I used to tell people in middle school and elementary school, I guess, whenever he was big, that I was related to him because I thought it would give me clout, and it did. Because people in my town were racist, and they heard, oh, Tayo Cruz, Reanna Cruz, and I'd be like, yup. What about it, baby?
Rihanna, we talked about this on the last middle school dance episode. Do you know that Tayo Cruz is British?
British?
Really?
Yes. He's
wow.
He's a secret Brit.
Yeah.
What a man. Maybe he'll pivot into grime in the next few years.
After you hear that Tayo Cruz is British, you're like, oh yeah.
It is true.
It checks out.
Now when you hear Dynamite, like the pronunciations and stuff, it doesn't sound British. It just sounds like strange.
Yeah, it's like, it's not British, but this could definitely be a British person.
We're gonna lot it up.
He was born in London to a Nigerian father and a Brazilian mother. Anyways,
wow.
DJ goes full in love again, innit?
In it, capturing the diaspora, innit?
We haven't even gotten to sexy can I?
Smithers can I?
I have nothing to say about sexy can I.
We haven't even opened the Pandora's box that is Smithers can I.
All right, let's just get into it. It's sexy can I time. This is another one that's like borderline too horny for this playlist. Like I feel like this was not getting past a lot of middle school dance.
Yeah,
filters.
I'm gonna say, Jackie, I have never heard this in middle school. Maybe ever.
I listened to it because my parents played it in the car.
I have a difficulty separating out in my mind like the songs that feel like they're related to all these songs that I did hear at the dance, or whether like this was actually there too. It is so essentially of this era that I felt okay including it.
No, that's fair.
Here's the dialectic. There are middle school dance songs, and then there are roller rink songs. This is a roller rink song where it's like, you know, you're out in public and it's not exclusively for children, but like, you know, there's crossover.
That's very apt.
What's young Berg up to these days?
No fucking idea. No fucking idea. Sexy
Can
I is very like.
Have Raycon earbuds? that's AJ's.
I did, but I lost them.
It's AJ's thing now is that he's an earbuds guy.
Wow.
Raycons are very popular. I mean, they're in a bunch of YouTube shit, but they're pretty popular.
They have become the non-Apple like alternative for a lot of people. It's actually very impressive how the Ray J branded earbuds, which seemed like something doomed to fail, that like would be a punchline of a joke, are actually very commercially successful.
Good for him. Also, Ray J is part of the family dynasty where his cousins are Snoop Dogg and Sasha Banks, and his sister is Brandy.
Totally.
Should I pull up the Vince Staples, Tyler the Creator, Ray J clip?
Sure. It's important to note that in addition to Raycon Inc., which is the company that manufactures the earbuds and headphones, he originally founded a different company that was a line of consumer electronics that was called Raytronics Inc., which included electric bikes, smartphone fans, and smart watches. He's been an innovator for a long time.
He's a mogul.
Shout out to Ray J.
Okay, I want to play this clip because I always think about it so much.
I don't know if you ever said this in an interview. Can you tell them your theory on how Ray J's never taken an L?
Oh, Ray J will never lose. Ray J is the man. Ray J is probably top 5 hip hop West Coast of all time.
Why? Why do you feel this way, Vince?
Does Ray J not have hits?
He has a couple hits.
Ray J was the first player on record that was certified. You seen the K-Slay interview?
No, what did he say?
So without Ray J, there is no game. This interview. First Ray J album, peep that out. I was just a youngster hanging on the 9 block. Okay.
So you're saying
it's more facts.
But what are more facts? Why? What do you mean he'll never take an L? Like he always ends up
winning? You like
winning?
Kanye West music, don't you?
Of course I do.
You like Moesha, don't you?
Of course.
You like VH1, don't you?
VH1 is a great channel.
Ray J has had a hand in everything that's current black culture. Hey, remember when Fabulous was real hot?
Yeah, scorching.
But remember when he did that shit to Ray J?
Oh my God! You saying never recover from that?
You think he did?
I feel like this Vince Staples interview is spiritually what we're doing
power
right
is
now.
so strong that he could damage even the.
We're kind of raising all these people from the dead and saying, hey, what if these guys were all cool?
This video, I'd never seen this before, but this has like, it's killing me what energy this has. It's like something God.
And you're saying Ray J completely.
I don't know. I mean, activating my fight.
It's just Vince Staples' energy. Like, this is just.
Right there. This is crazy.
He has done this before. He has said all of this before.
Yeah.
Listen, we going back to back him. You drive the Ghost. You know, he drove Ray J's car. He filmed the video at his house. Nigga disrespected the money team. Ray J was the first to hop up, bro. Everything that we love is directly related to Ray J. Period.
This is me like after I smoke a blunt and then like hop on my podcast.
Hip-hop, Ray J. That was the name of that fucking song. I mean, that show, period.
Whoa, Corey, can you work on getting a Ray J feature?
We don't need a Ray J feature. We're not ready for nothing like that. We just need a cosign.
I will say, Vince did get a Ray J feature. He did get the Ray J feature.
They gotta let Vince Staples on the Joe Rogan Experience. That's the energy I was getting. Yeah.
The thing that I think the particular Vince Staples moment that clip most reminds me of is the Daft Punk One More Time. They would just they got on that bitch like one more time. This motherfucking lyricism.
I heard that song at Wawa earlier. It was wild.
All right, let's move on. We have a couple more songs to get to. I don't have a lot more to say about "Sexy Can I."
Neither do I.
Are we gonna get a rare P God appearance right now?
P God. She's not. She does not want to. Does not look like she wants to be lifted.
P-God has no thoughts on Jordin Sparks' No Air featuring Chris Brown, which...
Again, I will say it once, I'll say it again. There are no bad songs on this playlist, and
You're not wrong.
Going from Baby to Sexy Can I to No Air, most people would say the opposite, but I think this kind of proves that point.
This song
think
is
this song,
actually very good.
She came into this bitch mad as hell.
She came on this bitch mad as hell, ready to fight.
My
Her
bar
rent check
was a
was
little I don't know, lowered because recently I was spending some time thinking about Jordin Sparks because one of Jordin Sparks' early hits was written by the guy who ends up writing Krayshawn Something About Cray. So I was in the Jordin Sparks archive not too long ago, and that song was the song that Johan Jeberg wrote is okay, but this fucking
What song is that, Jackie?
I don't even. It's like the Jordin Sparks hit that people don't know.
Tattoo,
It's,
One Step at a Time, Battlefield. Hit me. Which one?
It's not one of those.
Okay.
That's how you know it's not popping like that. But this song, actually unreal. I think it was One Step at a Time.
I don't really know who Jordin Sparks is, but this looks like a very she just looks like a very Disney
She's an American Idol
cover.
contestant.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I don't know if she won, but I remember she was at least like a
I think she
competitor on
won.
American
I think
Idol.
she won.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think she won. I think she was like top 4.
No,
she was top 4.
She was a runner-up.
That's right. It was one of the years
Oh,
where
wait, she did win.
Yeah. She's one of the few winners that.
Oh, she did win. Okay, never mind. My bad.
Didn't have like a long-term like Kelly Clarkson type career. Like she didn't have a hit as big as No Air, but this is an actual hit.
She made an impact.
To a
I still
level-
hear Jordin Sparks on like there's the station in LA 94.7 The Wave.
She's toward the top of American Idol contestants as far as
Absolutely
post Idol relevancy.
On the
For
power
sure.
ranking, she's definitely high. I hear Tattoo maybe like once or twice a week.
This song
like
will
that
outlive
rock.
all of us, and it's
Yeah,
just
this
fact.
song is so good, but like, oh, there we go. There we go.
It's just like she came on this bitch mad as hell.
That's right.
The residuals from American Idol were running out. She needed to use that advance money ASAP. So she
Okay, so this is like after she won American Idol. This is like a little bit.
I think
after.
this is like
This is like her album that you get for winning American Idol.
This is the I Need Some Bread album.
Yes,
Yeah,
no,
she
it's
got-
the I'm trying to make my career happen.
Run me that shit up.
Isn't the deal with the devil when you win American Idol? It's like you get like an album. They like produce you an
Right.
album basically,
Yeah,
and so it's
right.
like
So,
yeah, it's like the you know she had to risk it. She left it all on the floor for this one.
Yeah, it's like
I also
America's
think
Got Talent, you know.
This song is fascinating because it's not the first time this guy worked. His original credit is on the 2007 Chris Brown album. Unfortunately, Chris Brown is the reason why this guy becomes famous, but James Fauntleroy is one of the co-writers of the song.
King, baby.
And this is his first hit, like his first real hit. And from here, he goes on to be an insanely influential and important writer of pop music over the next 10 years. But he has a fascinating career in that because he's the Jordin Sparks guy, in addition to being the Chris Brown guy and being this like hip hop guy. So like he has this career where he has all of these massive writing credits that I can go through in a second, but also he does like David Archuleta's stuff and does all of Jordin Sparks' stuff for the rest of time and like a bunch of other kind of American Idol adjacent figures, but also it just becomes this massive pop figure in his own right. Like his most notable stuff, he ends up working for Beyonce, which he wins a Grammy writing for Beyonce. He wins a Grammy because he has vocals on To Pimp a Butterfly. He wins more Grammys because he's the co-writer on most of 24 Karat Magic.
He wrote one of the best songs of the 2010s in Mirrors by Justin Timberlake.
And now
Spit,
this
say less, yeah.
This motherfucker was the co-writer on every song on the 2020 Experience Part 1 and Part 2. Every
have to
song
give it
you
to
like from that album, and it's so telling that James Fauntleroy is not on Man in the Woods, because whatever percent of sauce you can credit to Justin Timberlake on those 2020 experiences, like after listening to this song and going through this guy's entire like discography of writing credits as a pop writer, like this guy was the juice that Justin Timberlake was riding off of on 2020 Experience. Like that was not his sauce. That was him borrowing the sauce of another. Because
yeah,
once he didn't have him,
I have never realized until you connected the dots how much that instrumental sounded like the 2020 Experience, which at least Part 1 is like truly, I think, you know, a masterpiece album. But all the foundations are there. I know we're going to have to talk about it later too, but it's so unfortunate how many bangers Chris Brown is on.
And this one, I feel less bad about enjoying this one in a certain way because really, this is Jordin Sparks' song. Like the fact that Chris Brown is on this song is completely incidental, even though his harmonies on the hook are nice. Like anyone could have done those. And when he steps out on his own for the feature, which we'll talk about again with the last song in this playlist, like Chris Brown is not the highlight of this song. Like as much as I have
it
my
brings me
issues
some
with,
pleasure to say that Chris Brown is the worst part of both of these songs. Like both.
He gets the floor waxed by Jordin Sparks on this song. Like
agreed.
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
I will say though, this is before Chris Brown started getting into trouble by.
Yes. This is peak. Chris Brown is insanely famous and beloved.
Yeah, I like Googled the timeline real quick, and like the song was released in 2007, and then the Rihanna stuff happened in 2009. So I mean,
we're in that weird sort of like Chris Brown is famous but not problematic yet timeline.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I've always been kind of. I don't know. I get it. Like, I understand why people just like, I understand why he got famous in the first place. And I kind of understand why people were so hesitant to give him up because he did have a lot of kind of skills in one person that it felt like people were like, well, we can't lose this guy because there's no one that can sing and dance like this was really kind of the thing that always got, but it's like, he really isn't that compelling as like, and I don't know, like he's the least compelling part of a lot of the big songs that he's on, and I think that I've always found him to just be a really overrated
everything Chris Brown can do, Jason Derulo can do, and is less problematic. Let's just
or Trey Songz, more so, or like T-Pain. Like if No Air was T-Pain and Jordin Sparks, like this you would be playing this song every goddamn day.
But like
T-Pain literally won the Masked Singer with like just, like actually singing.
I don't want you to leave. Can you hold my hand? Oh, won't you stay with me?
Yeah, come on now.
'Cause you're all I need. This ain't love, it's clear to see. So darling, won't you stay with me?
But let's move on to our next song, which is, let me see, Beautiful Girls by Sean Kingston, which features a wonderful hook.
Oh yeah,
it's
we'll get back to our
unbelievable that this is the hook on this song.
I mean, it's become a hack observation among people of our generation. It is insane how ubiquitous this song is and manages.
This song was everywhere.
I mean, everyone knows the radio edit is in denial. Yeah.
Beautiful girl. I was a little torn on whether to include it just because this isn't like a party anthem in the way that these other songs are, but there does need to be kind of one or two songs that were a little more melancholy on the dance floor, you know? And I think this song does walk a weird line in that way where like it's just upbeat enough that the suicidal part doesn't bog it down, but it isn't like completely like, it's not trying to do a hey ya thing where it's like trying to conceal the darkness. Like it is a little sad.
Last forever.
Wow.
I feel like we exhausted the Sean Kingston talk on Fireburn.
Yeah, and like also like this particular song too. It's the sample too that they pull in here.
Yeah.
The sample of fuck, the song's escaping me. Where did it go? It's just blanked out of my brain.
But no, I just wanted to include this because I was partly like, when are we ever going to talk
about this song?
Well, the song
has to be
again?
Included, I think.
Yeah.
This song is
there a more like middle school mindset than damn all these beautiful girls? They only want to do you dirt.
That's also true.
Oh wait, there's another slow song that we can put in this middle school phase too. It's Leona Lewis, Bleeding Love.
Well, that's also like kind of previewing our slow dance episode. This is the one rare song that feels like it walks between the worlds of the kind of middle school slow dance song and like it is the missing link between like Plain White Tees, Hey There Delilah, and like this song I feel like is kind of in that way sort of influential in like leading the way to Lil Wayne picking up an acoustic guitar and asking the question how to love, you know? Like
yeah. No, exactly. Like the song, like you could probably hear it at like maybe like at a baseball game for some reason. Like you don't know why it's playing, but it's just on at a baseball game.
This was like playing in my dentist's office last week, and I was like, "What an artifact!"
Yeah, great song.
As a society, it feels like we just like kind of ignore the fact that he says like, "Oh yeah, these beautiful girls
I
gotta
didn't
be
even
suicidal."
realize. I looked it up. This song samples fucking "Stand by Me."
That's the bass line.
Yup.
So true.
Nice little ocean breeze sound effect in there. This song rules.
The sample probably lends itself to that sort of familiarity, that where you listen to this and you already kind of fall into the sounds of it.
Yeah, much like Flow Rida, this song is a warm goo that kind of just gives you a big hug.
Exactly.
Also, to bring it back to our point earlier in the Sean Kingston discussion, this is another J.R. Rodham hit.
Classic.
J.R.
The king of this era.
Yeah, he has a run here where he does Rihanna SOS is his first big hit, and then he does Sean Kingston Beautiful Girls, JoJo, you got Chamillionaire, Cheetah Girls, Britney Spears, Baby Bash, a lot of hits in this run. Leona Lewis, Better in Time. There's a couple more. Corey Guns featuring Jason Derulo. I don't know. He does Replay. He does a whole bunch of stuff.
Shawty like a melody in my head. I know
he's a real crucial hit maker.
When we talked about that song 3 hours ago, what a great one.
But yeah, let's move on again. Let's move on to our last song of the episode. Let's just wrap it up. We're here. We're just under 2. We're just over 2 already, but I told you we could keep it pretty close. And our last song is unfortunately another Chris Brown song. But I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, it would be doing a disservice to this topic to leave this song off. It's really one of the most important. Like everybody stop, someone is gonna try to rap this song poorly songs of the middle school dance.
I thought I was the shit because I knew every word to this.
Everyone did.
This one feels like a spiritual predecessor to Ceiling Can't Hold Us.
I
can see it. Let's listen. We're talking, of course, about Chris Brown featuring Busta Rhymes, featuring Lil Wayne, Look at Me Now, which...
I don't see how you can hate from my
this instrumental.
I was thinking of Memories.
Leg out.
This instrumental, as I was saying, this set us back so many years. Like this, this created an evil type of guy.
This is some,
yeah.
But also, this beat is so great. Like, I think it's still like it is very like. I don't know, like the intro. I think Chris Brown's verse on this is pretty bad, honestly. Like
the beat feels very XXL freestyle core,
but like it is 100% carried by the you can't hate from outside the club. You can't even get in intro right into the beat dropping, and then the verse just goes by. It's whatever, and then you get to the chorus, which is great. And then more importantly, you're just at this whole point in the song, you're just like watching your watch, like, okay, when is he gonna say I'm done?
Yeah, I feel like I'm putting it together now, and I don't know how the rest of the panel feels about this, but like,
hold on.
Iconic.
We never watched the video I put in our chat, so we're gonna have to watch that before this episode's over. By the way,
we'll go out on that. Perfect. But this is my introduction to Busta Rhymes. I feel like the same for a lot of people of our generation.
Same.
This is now on TikTok now, isn't it?
Yeah.
100%.
Like, this got popular again.
I mean, this is a huge cultural. I mean, without Busta Rhymes, this song and Lil Wayne's verse is incredible too. But without Busta, this song is not as huge as it is. Like, he completely makes this song.
I was gonna say that I feel like this song is sort of has to own some responsibility for Lil Dicky. His whole shit is here.
You can't put that on Busta Rhymes' shoulders.
Not like Busta Rhymes, but like the instrumental, the crisp. It's all here. It's all here.
I guess I see what you're saying. I don't know, but
are Busta Rhymes and Biz Markie spiritually similar?
Not really.
Okay.
Biz Markie was much more of a kind of novelty guy.
Okay.
Busta Rhymes, like, his verse on the Scenario remix with Tribe Called Quest was like a star-making moment of its era. And
Busta's a legitimate. I mean, Biz Markie's kind of a legitimate dude too, because he like beatboxes like a motherfucker. But like, Busta Rhymes is more of a legitimate rapper that has more hits to his name.
Yeah,
you know, because like Biz Markie is like a one-hit wonder to everybody that's not a hip hop head, but Busta Rhymes is like a name that people do really know and respect. My partner's favorite rapper is fucking Busta Rhymes.
Okay,
it's a genuine, like, respectable take for him to be here, because it's like he gets more kind of into a gimmicky lane as his career goes on, because like I think this song pigeonholes him as the guy you bring in to come and rap really fast in a sort of twister sort of way, but like he was really more versatile than that, and he just had that as like one of the pitches in his toolbox, but also was just like there's a lot of really fucking great Busta features.
Tribe Called Quest song he's on, but that's also like an all-timer.
Remix.
Yeah.
But also on the recent what's it called? On the posthumous Phife Dawg album, there's a remix of a previously released Phife Dawg song called, I think, Nutcase or Nutshell is the name of it, that there's a Busta Rhymes feature on, and that Busta Rhymes feature is the highlight of that album. It's so fun. And also on the recent Calvin Harris album, which was dog shit, the Busta Rhymes song is the one moment of that entire album I woke up, because I'm like, all right, there is some fucking energy in this song now, and that is what Busta Rhymes could give you. Is he was just like a pack of energy that you could just can open and unleash, and it's in a Ludacris-esque way. He was a really great features artist, but I think Busta Rhymes is much more. He just has like one of the best rap voices.
Luda's wearing the noggin boss.
Absolutely.
If you need like if maybe you're listening and you're not a middle school dance enjoyer, just turn on "Break Your Neck" by Busta Rhymes.
Oh yes, so fucking.
Because that's
good.
an all-timer, truly.
Yeah. 100%.
Honestly, if you listen to this playlist and you're not a middle school dance head, like by the end of it, you probably won't be a middle school dance head. And when I say middle school dance head, I'm speaking my incredibly specific experience of being a 24-year-old that grew up in the Pacific Northwest, suburbia specifically. And so my experiences aren't universal, but for the purposes of this podcast, they are.
I mean, I feel like this, for everyone our age, like, I do think, I hope I
like
did a good job.
Yeah, like we were talking about the death of a monoculture. This is like these are the dying embers of our last monoculture.
Correct.
I just wanted to shout out, because we love these guys, and we got to give Lil Wayne his shout out. Lil Wayne's "I'm a nuisance, I go stupid, I go dumb like the Three Stooges" line is really incredible.
You could do like a top 5 bars of just Lil Wayne songs or Lil Wayne lines from that song, you know?
The Lil Wayne verse is fucking crazy.
Do you think Lil Wayne could tell you the names of all Three Stooges?
Absolutely, 100%.
He can even tell you Shemp. He can even bring up the Fourth Stooge.
The Fourth Stooge?
That was a deep cut. That was a deep cut. Yeah, there's 4 Stooges, Larry Curly Moe, and then Shemp.
The Forbidden Stooge.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend a freak like Cirque du Soleil is a great
Can you
line.
explain this one, Max?
From the Lil Wayne verse. Yeah, he's got a lot of really, really great bars on that song.
Yeah.
Get in paper.
That brings us to the end of the episode.
These
Let's watch
atrocious
back
fits.
the video
Jesus
and get on out
Christ.
of here.
Not the sing off.
There's not much to explain. It's an acapella version of Flow Can't Help Me by Flow Rida. Spirit, like, I never watched I never watched
Glee Club can't even handle me right now.
I watched Glee when I was younger, but I love the idea of people who just sing songs that really don't have from an empirical perspective, they don't have a lot of like emotional depth. But like people are singing like their fists are raised and they're singing the most important song they're ever gonna sing. And so when you get that with Club Can't Handle Me on the sing off on NBC, I think you get something truly beautiful because these guys are singing their asses off.
The idea of someone singing this song trying to like make their dreams happen is very funny, like inherently.
Like we're watching this at 5 frames a second, but these guys, like the 2 lead singers here, are trying so hard.
I'm sorry, but this has like the serious energy of Dartmouth going, hey, we have black members of our club. That means that we can actually like sing this song.
Yeah, this guy.
They let that white boy cook though. Is the thing.
Ooh, that note is crazy.
Yeah,
like the idea. Yeah.
Even a pale imitation of Flo Rida's angelic energy, it's still hitting. I got to be honest. There's something primal to this song.
Flo Rida's energy and like, just what he puts out into the world is so pure and like unimpeded by like.
This was definitely
the soiling of like critical thought.
Real quickly before we leave, the sing-off and Glee premiere in the same year. Was one drafting off the coattails of the other? Was acapella just so hot?
Acapella was having its cultural moment.
These things were gonna happen regardless. I don't think.
I think it went like Glee, the sing-off, Pitch Perfect,
Pentatonics.
Yeah,
got
Pitch
a factor.
Pentatonics is definitely the reaction to this boom. 100%.
No, acapella was having its moment concurrently with middle school dance music. Yep. I fear.
This is like the same time Susan Boyle was popping off, right?
Oh, don't even uncover the Susan. I have a lot to say on Susan Boyle.
Going down the American Idol. Rabbit hole.
What if
Susan Boyle, a woman
Got Talent episode would be crazy.
That'd be nuts, actually.
Clay Aiken.
That's on our next list. That
Clay,
and the Eminem episode.
Max, I have we'll take this one offline, but I have close personal connect. I know where we can find Clay Aiken in North Carolina.
That's a great note to end this episode.
We're hunting him down.
I know his favorite local coffee shop. I know where to get him.
I have the information that could lead to the arrest of Clay Aiken. All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We're going to be back with a slow dance episode at some point, but that'll be a ways down the road. We got to take a break.
I know how to make him stop and stare as I zone out. The club can't even handle me right now.
No.
Hey, amen to that, AJ Moser.
I see you watching me. I go all out. The club can't even handle me right now.
All right.
Wise words.
In the meantime, I guess that I'm a vegetarian and I ain't fucking scared of him.
It's true.
Seriously, just like that's just me.
Probably one of our bar's heaviest episodes, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us, Reanna, hopping on last minute. Thanks to AJ and Britt, and thank you, Matty, for producing. And
thank you for Matty steering us.
Thank you, everybody. This was fun.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm having like some serious like middle school PTSD now. This is fine.
Yeah, spiritually I'm wearing a silly band on my wrist. Like it grew back.
I got my Osiris on. It's going down.
Some big I Heart Boobies energy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, before we go, first off, Rianna, thank you for coming on. Check out Switched on Pop on wherever you find podcasts. I'm just doing your plug for you. If that's okay.
Thank you. Totally.
And join us next week, as we're not doing our end of year just yet. We've got one more episode before then, as our next episode is club songs to suck and fuck to.
Baby,
Jack and I are virtually dapping each other up. We're back behind the mic.
This is going to be. We've talked a lot about Max being my Padawan of sorts. There's nothing. There's nothing that
the Padawan is hopping in the co-pilot seat. No, 100%.
The master has become when I left, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
No, 100%. Max has taken this baton that I've passed him in introducing him to the wonderful world of Ghetto Tech and Ghetto House, which I will be introducing to all of you next week. But I am so excited.
3 words have rattled around my brain since Max told me about this episode, and those words are "duh, dick sucks."
Okay. By the way, I listened to the playlist for this next episode because I was trying to figure out if I wanted to be on it, and I can't think of a single coherent thing to say about it. It's just cursed. I tried. I wanted to. I gave it the fair shot.
I have a lot of context to offer that hopefully will help make it more digestible. But yeah, tune in next week for Da Dick Suck. And other such hit songs.
Oh my God. DJ Assault. Oh.
Yes, I know these names like I know my own grandfather. We'll get into it next week.
It's a treat.
Well then,
beautiful.
Well,
Beautiful. Dick suck.
Well, thank you all for joining us. We'll see you all next week, and yeah, bye.
The lonely stoner seems to free his mind at night. He's all alone through the day and night. The lonely loner seems to free his mind at night. At night. Day and night. The lonely stoner seems to free his mind at night. He's all alone, some things will never change. The lonely loner seems to free his mind at night. At night. Day and night. Day and night. The lonely stoner seems to free his mind at night. He's all alone, some things will never change. The lonely loner seems to free his mind at night. At night. At night. At night. At night. At night.